The greatest words in sports. It's a football Monday with big sells. It's a football Monday. Wow. I mean it, man. The weekend calendar and the sports calendar right now is spectacular. It's absolutely spectacular. By the way, please hit the like button. You guys have been sensational. Sensational. For about 2.5 months since the start of the show and since the start of the football season. Please hit that like button. By the way, first, we want to thank our friends at BetUS for powering the National Football Show and JAKIB Sports for the next 4 hours. We appreciate that as well. All super chats go to the top. Do me a favor. Hit the like button here. World Series is set. Dodgers and Yankees. College football. Big Sills' Canes with the number one offense in the country. Of course, the NFL and the Eagles versus the Giants at MetLife. And the Kansas City Chiefs play C- football, and they're still undefeated. How scary are they? Get this. They're the best team in football by far. There's nobody close, maybe the Lions. Jared Goff is playing insane football right now. We'll talk more about that. Obviously, the big story was Eagles and Giants at MetLife, okay? I mean, the question you would ask yourself, where are the Eagles after the last 2 weeks? Okay? Where are the Eagles after 8 quarters of football versus 2 of the worst teams in football? Flexen, appreciate it. Let's get to the business, fat boy. Sit back and relax there, kid. Keep your shitty takes to yourself, okay? And then you can comment. How you doing? Because most of the time, you're a 50-50 guy too, Flexen. Love you, though, man. Guys, please hit that like button. We'll get to the takeaways. We will get to Hurts, Barkley, and Sirianni. They spoke after the game. Giants and Browns, is it fool's gold? But let me start the program off first and foremost before we get to the takeaways here. A.J. Brown doesn't get it. What a bitch. I mean, dude, let me read you the exact quote here because I don't want to mislead anybody in this. Here's A.J. Brown. Okay? This is after a dominant win against a division foe. A.J. Brown asked about the Eagles only attempting 14 passes. Xander asked me a question. Do you think they'll stick to the formula? No. You know why? Because your number one offensive weapon doesn't want you to. Okay? Get this. Hurts is 7th in QBR. Defense is top 10 by metrics. Off of 14 passes, this guy's trying to tell you Hurts is a good passer. When he had 5 completions for 25 yards to 2 other guys, and Devontae had 1 catch for -2 yards. That guy's trying to convince you that he's a good passer of the football. He had a wide open Barkley for a skip and a hop touchdown and missed him because he held on to the ball too much. How you doing? Barkley's a monster. He is. Josh Sweat really turned it on. How about Dean? We're going to get to all this. Putting in the work this week. Still not good in coverage, but was much better this game. Keep stacking days. That's right, Jason. That's a great take. Diva Brown is back. Diva Brown is back. So, by the way, I just want to show Xander asked the question twice to me. He asked it in the postgame show, and he asked it just now. Sills, do you think the Eagles will stick to the winning formula? I said absolutely not. Eagles, for a second time this week, flexed out of Sunday night. What's your take? They're not entertaining to watch. That's my take. By the way, Kimbo, thank you very much for the picture. I made sure I retweeted it. And if I'm not following you on my X account, let me know because I'll follow you, okay? You're here every day. I'll follow you over on my X account at Dan Sileo Show. So you let me know. My bro and I noticed in the second half, Jalen limping around on the field. He still rolls his right. Gets hit that left knee, classic MCL. It's a problem. Rehab these injuries daily. Trust me. Kimberly, make sure you let me know if I'm not following you, okay? Oh, I promise you, Kim, I'll follow you, man. Thank you for being here for us, man. And I appreciate the super chat. And I got the pictures too, and I retweeted it too. So thank you very much. Okay? Get this. Here's Andres. Sills. Mahomes now has 8 interceptions. He's a turnover machine. No, he's a champion machine. You see, here's the difference between Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes. He can throw you into wins after making mistakes. Your boy can't. Patrick Mahomes could throw 6 picks in a game and throw 2 critical touchdowns to win it, and he's 6-0. Stop and never compare Patrick Mahomes to the wishbone quarterback in Philadelphia. Don't ever do that. It's stupid. You got to be kidding me. Eagles for a second time, flexed out. Yeah, we read this. Yeah, because you know why? They're not that entertaining to watch. That's why they flexed them out. NBC puts on exciting teams and great stories. Eagles aren't one. What else would it be? A.J. Brown, here, let me finish this here. By the way, please hit the like button. So 14 passing attempts. Here's his quote. Yeah, no, man, it's good that they were able to run the ball. Happy for the guys they ran the ball. But we want the ball too. Wish we had more attempts. You know, you take it, and then you move on to the next game. This don't beat a team by 25 points, and he's crying about targets and catches. I told you before, man. That's the mentality of today's wide receiver, and you got one of the biggest divas in the league. This guy's fucking worried about catches and targets and not worried about the point. You know what I would have said? And by the way, you know who the one guy who didn't say anything, who had 1 catch for -2 yards, was Devontae Smith. Devontae didn't say shit about it. Moved on. He's going on to Cincinnati. But your guys bitching and moaning, asked the question and saying, hey, we won, man. That's all that matters here. Not him. He's got to lay into it going, now I know on the sidelines he does complain. This is why your quarterback struggles a little bit sometimes, because they have to feed this guy or he whines like a baby. That's exactly what this is when you have one of these guys. You have to feed this guy. Okay, by the way, he's phenomenal. But A.J. Brown, I mean, dude, that's not my number one priority. His priority is to get catches and targets. The number one priority should be to win, no matter how it looks. So when Xander and everyone ask me, hey, do you think they'll go back to the – no, I don't. Because the number one player in the huddle right now is complaining. Now, does that dynamic change because of the way Barkley's been playing? Barkley's all class, by the way. He is just absolutely a class act. I love how he handled himself this week. I loved how he handled himself playing in the game. I like a little trash talking. It wasn't over the top. He's a class act, man. You should be proud that he's on your football team. Seems like Fangio's starting to do what the players are good at instead of making them fit his scheme. Proof of a good coach. We're going to get to all of this, I promise you here. Okay? I mean, end of the day here, Saquon Barkley is a total class act. Okay? Total class act. I mean, no, that's not what I was doing. Dude, doing a post-game show and doing an opinion show here are two different skill sets. Sit back and I'll teach you and I'll help you. You talk about what happened in the freaking game. You talk about players playing. What we do when we sit here and do is talk about what we break down about it and where it goes from here as you take on a quarterback in Joe Burrow this weekend. Holy shit. Sit back, kid. I'll hook you up here. Okay? No shit, AJ. I agree with you 100%. Prince. Hey, AJ, stop fucking crying. Stop fucking crying, guy. You got to win. You beat a team by 25 points. Move on. Holy cow. Jesus Christ. You would think that that guy was moaning over the fact that he didn't get his targets. Hey, we want to play too. It's like the kid with the bat and ball in the park, and he doesn't get a chance to get his swings, and the guy bitches and moans and takes his bat and ball and goes home because he didn't get his way. Talk about a child, man. Hey, dude, you won the ball game. Why can't you act more like Larry Fitzgerald? Larry Fitzgerald, I never heard him complain ever, being in shitty Arizona. I never hear Devontae Smith complaining. I never heard Marvin Harrison complaining. Not this guy. Hey, we'd like to play too. Dude, what a bitch. Xander will join us at 3:30. Gary Cobb at 4:30 from Fox 29 in Philadelphia. What to take away from the last 2 weeks and what to take away notably from this Giants game. All right, let's do this first before I get going here. By the way, we'll go by the numbers. Our game balls will kind of break down a little bit what the players and coach said after the game. You tell me, do you feel better or worse about the Eagles' prospects moving forward after the Giants game and the Giants win? I'll tell you mine after I give you my takeaways here. How do you look at that performance against the Giants? Maxon, a little better. Hurricanes defense sucks. They're the worst team in the top 10. You all pretenders, but yet you act like they're legit. The Eagles have a better chance to win than your suck-ass Canes do. Really? Well, we'll win the ACC and go undefeated, get into the national championship semifinals, and you won't make it to the playoffs with your effort that you've played with in the last 2 weeks. Oh, defensively, it's getting better. We're going to get there. Sills and Johnny Mack, the wet blankets to Xander's no-holes defense. Like to see Xander like that. It's good for him. How do you feel? Flexing. Me too. Me too, Flexing. I don't know. Me too. Me too. That's how I feel. Please hit the like button. Sills, I feel the same. First quarter is still analytics. Fangio learned what a blitz is. That's what's happened here a little bit. Absolutely. By the way, the first 25 plays of the Philadelphia Eagle game plan is the worst part of the game plan for 6 weeks. It shows, man. They're terrible at formulating a game plan. They're better at ad-libbing and going off script. Dude, that's the sign that at least Kellens takes more control of the game and the game plan after the first 20 plays, because he's got to sit there and he's got to go along with all the voices from Julian and his people to Nick and his bullshit. And Kellen's got to sit there and put plays in the first 20, and they're the worst plays. They're all 3-and-outs. They miss passes. They don't have a rhythm, and they get into a rhythm once they get off those first 20. And get this, that's for 6 weeks. That's 6 weeks. That's right. Too many voices. And you can see it. Dan, I don't put much stock in that win. Anytime Huff gets a sack, you know the opponent's trash. Happy to see Sidney Brown back on the field. Kid puts 110% effort into every play. Dalton, I'm gonna be as honest as I can on what these last 2 weeks and notably Sunday meant to me. And you're going to hear this theme throughout this takeaway here about the Giants and Eagle game. The Giants are brutal. They're worse than I thought they were. I mean, the defense ran out of gas in the second half because the Eagles did the right thing by running the football down the throat of New York. That was one of the Achilles' heels, was run defense. And they stuck to their guns. Barkley had an ass for the organization. Loves John Mara, you could tell in his post-game press conference, loves the fans. At the end of the day, though, this was a shot back at Joe Schoen for the way he handled this. And he wanted a piece of it. And I'll give you my spin once again, once we get to him, on what he did in that football game. That's a total fuck job to the Giants. And an FU and a middle finger. It was so great. Q and DeJean could be the best DBs out of the class. I'll tell you what, Cooper DeJean is going to be a heck of a guy for sure. It clearly was the Saquon Barkley show. This guy averaged 10 yards a carry, 176 yards rushing, 17 carries, and he was electric. And by the way, I can't be more wrong about a football player. He was hidden in New York the same way, and I got to say this to you about Howie Roseman. A.J. Brown was hidden in Tennessee, and Saquon Barkley was hidden in New York. If Saquon Barkley had played his entire career in Philadelphia, he would be a Pro Football Hall of Famer. That's a guy with 2 knee injuries, and they're telling me he's running the football at 22 miles an hour. Come on, man. The New York Giants never did him solid by putting good players around him. They never did him solid by building a football team and giving him a competent quarterback. I mean it. I mean, he's a good football player. Second player drafted. Now, I don't know if it was Dave Gettleman that drafted him or it was Jerry Reese that drafted him. But whoever drafted him, that was the right pick. He's a heck of a football player. I never thought he lived up to the second pick in the draft when he was in New York. But I'll tell you what, he's living up to the second pick in the draft in Philly. He's a great player. Get this. Great player. Not a good player. He's a great player. 0 points for the 6th straight game in the first quarter. I just got through telling you why. Too many voices, man. You mean to tell me you spend all week and that's the result, is no points in the first quarter for 6 weeks of the season? I mean, dude, you're coming into the halfway point of the year and you haven't scored any points to start off. Your defense is showing up. You're not. How about this? To be candid, the defense is showing up the last couple of weeks. The offense isn't showing up. They're not. The sad truth is AJ knows that, no, they can't win without him because the quarterback stinks. If he's targeting AJ, it's all a mess and we're not going to win. If these games, if it comes down to a shootout, which is more likely, John, that's exactly right. You can't go to one guy because you tried that shit last year. You went to one guy, had 1,500 yards, and you blew the season up last year, and you had all those guys. You had Lane. You had Devontae, John. You had it. And he does know that. He does know it. So he's going to moan and bitch and cry about not getting his targets. Hey, by the way, this guy sounds a lot like Donovan McNabb, A.J. Brown. Dude, share the spotlight. That was Barkley's day. So what? I know, man. Barkley put this team first yesterday. I'm going to get to him in a minute. He made a comment that I thought was spectacular at the post-game press conference. Please, guys, hit the like button. Nolan Smith showed up. Bryce Huff showed up. Josh Sweat is playing really good ball. And Nakobe Dean showed up. All with sacks. Running to the football. Boy, the Giants are brutal. Okay? However, these are young players. Whether the Giants stink or not, they're lining up in the right position. They're flying to the football. There's a lot of Eagle hats around the pile, which means they have a sense of urgency to get and make a play. I'll tell you what I think has happened here, too, compared to a year ago. The influx of youth has also become a factor here with energy. There's an energy when it comes to playing football on the defensive side that you're starting to see a little bit. To be fair, we scored 28 points in 2.5 quarters. Okay, sure. I'm on to Cincinnati. Let's see it again. I like it, John. Imagine Devontae crying because we let AJ show out in his return game versus Tennessee. Would never happen. Dalton, it's about winning with him. And I'm talking Devontae. I think it's 50-50 with AJ. I think he wants to get his numbers. He wants to be considered one of the elite wide receivers in the game. I don't think that's a priority. And that's why he signed that contract, Devontae, the way he did. Money was never a priority, and stats are never a priority. That's why that guy's an ultimate teammate. How that guy's not a captain on your team, how Devontae Smith is not a captain, he personifies everything Nick talks about accountability. He totally personifies it. And AJ and Slade do not personify any of that. And nor does a fucking kicker. I could care less if a kicker is hit by a bus, I could care less. Devontae Smith, in my opinion, how's that guy not a captain? I mean, he personifies everything you want in a leader. Totally. Cam Jurgens was destroyed by Dexter Lawrence. However, a lot of people get destroyed by Dexter Lawrence. And I thought as the game went on, they started opening holes up in the run game, and I thought Cam settled down. I'll tell you this, man. He had 2 sacks on him and a bunch of tackles, Dexter Lawrence. He's one of the top 5 defensive players in the National Football League. And I'll make a point to you about it. I thought he did a great job. And by the way, on that long run by Barkley, you see him get out there like he was Jason Kelsey and get out in the perimeter and knock that edge rusher on his ass. That was spectacular. I thought we'd never see that shit again. That was outstanding. So him playing against a premier player, that's the best player Cam Jurgens is going to play against all year, is Dexter Lawrence on the nose like that. It's the best player he'll play against. And I thought he, in the second half, held his own. First half, Lawrence dominated him. I mean, he was throwing him around like he was a bag of potatoes. But that guy does that to everyone. Do you understand Dexter Lawrence is on pace for 22 sacks from a nose guard position for a guy who gets triple teamed? That's unheard of. Like, it's unheard of for a guy to have that kind of number. I've never seen anything like it. Years playing and covering the sport, I've never seen a nose with 9 sacks in a season, let alone after only 6 games. It's insane. As I mentioned, Cooper DeJean is going to be a special teams problem for teams. I like the way he runs. He runs tough. He has ball security. He is really aware of where he is on the field. And you know the one thing I'll say about him? You guys are probably not going to like this. Dude, between the 2 corners that you drafted, I think Cooper DeJean's a better athlete than Quinyon Mitchell. I think he's a better athlete. That kid is some athlete, man. I mean, he is a real, he's better than I thought as an athlete. He's a better athlete. I'm not saying he's a better corner. I didn't say that. Don't tie the both in. Okay? Don't tie the both in. But I think he's a better athlete than Quinyon. I mean it, man. He is a good-looking athlete. I see why people thought a lot of him at Iowa. Crazy, that's all these years Kelsey put Dexter in check. And you know what? Cam is going to get better playing against him too. Dude, I'm going to tell you, and I'm not saying Quinyon didn't play well in this game. We're going to get to all these guys. I promise you here, man. Thanks for the super chats. Please hit the likes. I'm not putting stock into beating Cleveland and New York. How the D looks versus Burrow will tell a lot. AJ's comments are stupid. It sounds like he'd rather have games like Atlanta, all numbers, no wins. Barkley wants to win. That's correct, Anthony. That's my assessment. But then again, that's the wide receiver in today's NFL. If Hurts doesn't complete the Hail Mary as he was getting hit on the 4th and 3 for a TD, people would be singing a different tune. He was bailed out by a lucky play. It ignored a play call. We're going to get to Hurts here in a second, okay? Look, dude, I don't mind Jalen Hurts only throwing the ball 14 times if that's what the game called for. The problem is the Eagles have a problem with that. You and I know that that's the way to win. And who cares what it looks like? Dude, we're not painting portraits here. Trying to win a football game. I don't care what it looks like. 28-3. What the fuck are you caring about how it looks? Seals, the offense will never live up to the expectations based on contracts and skill. I still say to this day the offense will keep underachieving even in an RPO when they should be overachieving. Okay? I don't really care how that thing looked yesterday. Thank you, John. All super chats to the top, and please hit the like button. I don't really give a shit how that thing looked yesterday. I thought it looked perfect, actually. So, Cooper DeJean, he looks like a really great athlete. Hurts. Hurts missed a big-time pass to Barkley. He could have walked in backwards or he could have crawled in for the touchdown. 14 attempts, hard to assess. Jalen Hurts had an incomplete ball game. I mean, if you take away the AJ 89 yards in his 114 passing, he completed 5 passes for 25 yards to other guys. That wasn't what that game was called for. Okay? I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I know many of you probably thought I'd be sitting here saying that Hurts sucked out loud. I don't care about that. Some games you're going to throw for 150 yards. Some games you're going to throw for 350 yards. That's what dual threat quarterbacks are. The quarterbacks that have to win from the pocket have to put up 300 yards, have to perform like Jared Goff. They have to perform like that week in and week out because that's the only skill set they have. The Eagles have a formula that they don't like to work, and that is 1 week it's this, 1 week it's that. Unfortunately, they can't stick to that. And right, big drag, no turnovers. Man, the Giants are terrible. 114 yards passing. So, 14 attempts. How could I sit here and tell you after Dallas of a year ago when Josh Allen beat the Dallas Cowboys, completing only 10 passes, and they put up 31 points, and they blew out the Cowboys, and me turn around and say and go, well, Jalen was terrible. No, that's not what that was. That showed you that that team has multi-ways to beating teams. And again, the thing I take away from that game yesterday, probably the only thing that I take away, unlike the Cleveland game, they didn't play down to their competition. They played up to their skill set. Okay? They played up to their skill set. You don't get back slaps for playing up to your skill set. That wasn't a special game yesterday. That was a game that you should start to say, that's how we should play week in and week out. Not all these pitches and swings and pendulum and up and down in these swings. Don't look for compliments and backslapping for doing your fucking job. I mean, it's insane to hear you guys go, well, look at this. Now we're back. You're not back to anything yet. You have had no consistency whatsoever. There is some signs of it. There's signs of it. I'm going to get more to it here. Please hit the like button. Devontae Smith, 1 catch, -2 yards. So what? So what? And that player's not going to peep a word. Can you imagine if A.J. Brown had 1 catch for -2 yards and you won by 25 points? He would be screaming at Jalen Hurts on the sidelines. And people would be wondering, what the fuck are you doing? He's unbecoming of the C he wears. I told my friends watching Beanie Bishop at Combine is going to be legit. They all snickered at me. Go Dogs. Mahomes, not Purdue, put up 300. Now they're dual threat. Nor Purdue. Purdue who? What are you talking about? Dude, stop talking about Patrick Mahomes and any quarterback in the league. He could throw 10 picks in a game. He's still going to win it. If Jalen throws 2 picks or has 2 turnovers, he's losing every game he's in. If that guy has 10 picks, he's winning every game he's in. Okay? I don't care who it is. By the way, Josh Allen has no turnovers this year. Why do you think they're winning? Why do you think they're winning? Purdy. Okay, I got you, Anthony. Thank you. Here's my number one takeaway. It's something to build on. Let me give you some numbers here a little bit before we go into the game numbers here. And I got to tell you, here's Vic Fangio. 19.2 points a game. That's 7th. 304.3 yards in total offense. They're surrendering on defense. That's 9th. 189 in pass defense. That's 9th. 115.2 in rush defense. That's 15th. They're last in the league in takeaways. I think that's just the way the ball bounces sometimes. This is after the first 6 weeks. That's what you build on. Right there. That's what you look at building on. Is that you're starting to see trends. And I'll tell you the last 2 weeks, that has become evident with Fangio. He thinks these guys can't create pressure themselves. He's bringing them. He's blitzing more. Kobe Dean can blitz. So some of these clowns in here want every player to get 100 yards, 10 catches, and run, or we didn't play good. That's not the case. That's exactly correct. JAKIB, Jalen Hurts did exactly what that game plan led. Saquon Barkley was taken over, and Saquon Barkley took the game over, 28-3. You dominated them. What more do you want? It's a team sport. It's a team sport, dude. I know many of you thought that I was going to kill her. No. Because this is the formula that I said the last 2 weeks. If the guy throws 25 attempts a game, he runs the ball between 10 and 15 times a game. He rushed, I think, for 7 times. If you keep it in that room, you're going to win a lot of games. If you start throwing the ball more, you're going to hear AJ complain more. But that's not the winning formula. Brown's going to make it an essential thing this week to talk more about, get this. You know what last week's conversation was? It was about Nick Sirianni and his childish behavior. You know what this week is going to be about? It's going to be about AJ Brown not getting his targets. There's always some drama in that building. And the players inflict it on themselves and the coaches. And the coaches. By the numbers. 28-3, 25-point win. Dominating win. First downs. 20 first downs for the Eagles, 10 for the Giants. Third down. The Eagles were pathetic, but then again, they didn't need a pass game, nor did they need to be in third down that much because Barkley was destroying them. This is a misleading stat. 1 for 13. Third down efficiency didn't matter in that game. Why? Because Barkley took it over in the run game. So when you see a stat 1 for 13, that doesn't matter because you had no pass. You were a one-dimensional team in that game, but that's okay. Whatever it takes to win. This is not about beating AJ Brown. This is about doing whatever it takes to win. So AJ, shut the fuck up. This is about winning. This is not about you. This is about winning a ball game. And if Jalen Hurts has to throw the ball for only 70 yards in a game and you win by 25, who cares? The owner does, though, unfortunately. 65 plays to 55. Eagles didn't really need that many plays. You know why? Barkley took the game over. 339 yards of total offense to 119. I've never seen that before. Only in college football have I ever seen somebody held to 119 yards in total offense. The Giants are pathetic. Passing yards, because of the sacks on the official statistics, the Eagles were credited for throwing for 70 yards in this game. The Giants, 43. Wow. Yeah, because the Eagles had 8 sacks on Jones, and the Giants had 5 on Hurts. There's where the minus yardages in your passing. Time in possession, the Eagles had the time on their side by a quarter. 35-20 to 24-20. About 10 minutes, 11 minutes, almost an entire quarter they had the ball in their hands compared to what the Giants did. Numbers, not impressive at all, except for one man. Hurts 10 of 14, 114, touchdown. Nice pass down the sideline when he got hit in the face. It was a good throw. Barkley, 17 carries, 176, had 11 for catching, had 188 in total offense and a touchdown. He was sensational. Okay? AJ had 89 yards, so why is he complaining? Because he wanted more targets. I read the quote. He wanted more targets. He said that we wish that we had more passes. He started laughing when someone brought up there were only 14 passing attempts. He goes, I'm really glad that the guys were able to run the ball, but, we want the ball also. I mean, guy, know where you are. Who cares? You know what assholes like me are going to do when I hear that? Hey, Kenny Gainwell is great. 13 carries, 56. Hurts 7 for 22 and 2 touchdowns. Brown, like I said, 5 catches, 89 and a TD. Devontae, 1 catch, minus 2 yards. Daniel Jones, 14 to 21, 99. He stunk. Tyron Tracy, who's that? 6 carries, 23 yards. Daniel Jones had 5 for 20. Malik Neighbors had 4 for 41 in receiving yards. I mean, these are shitty numbers by everyone. What the real thing was, here's a great stat line. Nakobe Dean, 11 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 TFLs, 4 hits on the quarterback. Best game I've seen him play as an NFL player. Jalen Carter, 4 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 hits on the quarterback. He's starting to put some consistency together. You're starting to see a little consistency. And again, I want to make this very clear. Even though I keep saying that the Giants suck, that's not an Eagle problem. Eagles can't help it you suck and you can't build a team. I mean, that's not an Eagle thing. Hey, you don't have proper talent at running back? That's not an Eagle thing. Go on, do your job. Play up to your ability, unlike you did against Cleveland. That's what they did. They took care of business. By the way, you don't get slaps on the back for beating teams that you should beat. Never get slaps on the back for that. Okay? Abe says, Sills, do you think the Giants fell apart when Burns went down? No, I think what happened in that game was I think the Giant defense went as far as they could after watching Daniel Jones and that offense, as incompetent as it was, just not able to deliver. I mean, you run out of hope and you run out of steam, and I think the offense, hey, even Fred Johnson got crushed by Brian Burns early, right? But when they started running the ball, Fred did a decent job. It was almost a tale of two halves for the offensive line for the Eagles. It really was. I didn't think Tyler Steen played that bad because you know what they did? They got into the run game. They stuck to what they do great. Dude, putting the ball up, you were going to help the Giants with 3 and outs and turnovers, and what else? You were going to keep the game close by doing that. I mean, if you had 10 or 11 more attempts, you would have done that. Why? Because Hurts is still this year. I haven't changed my opinion on Jalen Hurts whatsoever. He's still an inadequate quarterback when it comes to winning games from the pocket. He's inadequate. But when you play like that and you do what you're supposed to do against shitty teams and you go to a skill set that a team can't and you play against their weakness and you run the ball, game over. Game over. See this comment here? He's right. Navy offense. So, Navy's undefeated. Navy's undefeated. Please hit the like button. Let me say this to you about Saquon Barkley. I heard something in the press conference when he addressed the media after the game at MetLife that I fell in love with. Nick Sirianni went up to him and said, "You're coming up to the number that, your career numbers." And he mentioned Frank Reich, our friend. Frank said, anytime a player is getting up near those career numbers or doing something special, I'm paraphrasing here, make sure you're cognizant of that. Because in this league, very seldom do you get a chance to do something that people will remember you by. I thought he was going to go for 200 yards too. That would have been the ultimate in Joe Schoen's face. You know what Barkley said? Nah, we got the game in hand. And Nick even thought better about putting him back in, but still wanted the player to have the option. You know what he said? Nah, I'm not here for that. I'm here to win a game. And that, to me, let me know what kind of man he is. He could have really just made a mockery of that whole thing, but I think he made a bigger mockery by showing his character, unlike Joe Schoen showing you lies and hard knocks. This guy took the entire fourth quarter off in a football game that he was going back for the first time at MetLife and said, I killed you so bad in 3 quarters of football, I don't need to play the fourth. Let the other guys play. That's so fucking in your face. That is so in your face. That dude, I don't know how he's surviving today in the New York media, because I would be murdering him. I heard John McMullen and sometimes even Xander say, well, the Giants, they had to move off him. Really? Would you move off that? Would you move off a 26-year-old running back that had that kind of talent? Knowing full well when you're watching him now, if you had built a competent team around him, that's what he would look like? That's a giant failure. The Giants' failure was on display. That they never built an O-line for him, wide receivers, and even a guy like Hurts playing quarterback for him. You couldn't put Ryan Tannehill back there in a decent O-line. You couldn't do that for Barkley? Dude, that is the biggest disaster I've ever seen the New York Giants have to deal with, is that guy went back into your place and said, this is what it was supposed to look like for 8 years. This is what it was supposed to look like. I mean, they never did that. And Barkley was like, no, we're going to talk more about him here. But Saquon handled himself like a freaking pro. Man, I've really become more of a fan of him. Even though he's a Penn State dude, I got to tell you, that's how you handle yourself. I got to say this. This is going to sound weird. This is going to sound awful weird. I think the head coach handled himself. I like the way the head coach fucking handled himself. You're never going to hear me say these things like this. Let me get to Saquon. And by the way, the comment about AJ, is it a big thing? Probably not. But it just shows you his character. It shows you that he doesn't look at winning as the number one priority. He looks at it as half the priority. Whereas Saquon and Devontae look at it, and Jalen look at it as a complete priority. Your star player looks out as him being the most important cog in winning a game. And if you don't get him the ball more, you're going to lose or it's not going to look good. Well, who cares how it looks? That's how he acts. And again, he's a fabulous football player. No one's disputing that. This could be a sign of a new leader of our team. Saquon handled himself with poise and went off. The Eagles rallied around him yesterday and balled out. They absolutely do. We see what Prince says here about Quinyon. Prince, do you know that in 6 games played, Quinyon has yet to have a receiver go over 40 yards on him or give up a touchdown? No one's talking about that yet. That's spectacular. That's spectacular, Prince, for any defensive back. 6 games into a rookie season, that's a heck of a start. That's a heck of a start. Please hit the like button, guys. Bob, Sills, yesterday was Philly ball and not Eagle ball. That's a great line. You know what? That's a great ball. That's a great comment. NFL games are heavyweight fights. Running is the body blow. We pounded their D-line and gassed them. That's exactly what happened. Second half, the Giants were out of gas. Wide receivers are the combination setup of the body blows. Right. Bob, wide receivers are more of the type of fighter that's going to sit there and going to be more of a jabber. When you're somebody like the Eagles, what they did with 270 yards rushing, and you beat a team up like that, that's George Foreman, Mike Tyson shit. Okay? That's George Foreman, Mike Tyson stuff. Here's let's do Sirianni first. No, let me do Sirianni. He was asked the question about the wide receivers not being involved heavily. You know what he said? Well, they were heavily involved in the run game, and that's the kind of wide receivers that we have here in Philly. You know how many wide receivers don't want to be involved in that? Because that's the dirty work. Devontae doesn't mind doing that. AJ does. He doesn't want to be the grunt. He doesn't want to put the dirty work in. He doesn't want to help spring. He'll do it begrudgingly because he makes $35 million, but he doesn't want to do that. Who does? You think Randy Moss wanted to block downfield or any of them guys? They don't want to do that shit. Smitty's doing it. -2 yards. Dude, that -2 yards, in my opinion, is like having a 200-yard game when you see your running back go for 177. Devontae Smith also gets credit for the run game. Giants waved the white flag with 10 minutes to go in the fourth. They did. They just absolutely. B. Costello says AJ blocks. He does. He doesn't want to. That's why he complains about not getting targets. You think a wide receiver who touches the ball 4 times a game wants to block in the run game? He did that shit in Tennessee and hated it. You really think that guy, his priority is to go block? What are you kidding me? Nick said that Barkley's a premier player. He sure is. He uses emotions in that game, and he kept them in check, too. He's an impressive man. He didn't want the number. He didn't want to go over 200 yards. I thought he was going to go over 200 yards. He said we had our best week of practice. He said the number one thing that Jalen Hurts has been working on has been protecting the football, and it's evident. Hurts must be on an NFL level in Cincinnati after 2 weeks off. Put Smitty in motion early, maybe. Fans already got Van Sumer in that fullback bootleg. Hurts knew that. Yes, Jay said. Well, I didn't think the game against Cleveland he had an off game. Okay, I didn't. I thought the players responded to Nick. I thought they responded to Nick. I like Nick at the press conference. I thought Nick handled himself. There was a jab at himself for saying something about being too emotional. That's the best I've seen Nick Sirianni behind the mic was on Sunday at MetLife. They got a win. It was a pressure win. You could tell, you can sense that it was a relief. The problem that you have with something like that, though, you can't get too high and you can't get too low. You got Cincinnati. These games come up on you so fast. You can't celebrate that win now. Today's Monday. You got to start thinking about preparing against Cincinnati. But I thought he handled himself, especially coming off a turbulent week. I did. I thought he handled himself. Now, that's not going to change the room for anybody. And I'm not saying it's changing the room for me. But I thought he handled himself. I did. I thought he showed out. And I thought that, the players stepped up for him. He said that Vic Fangio's a stud. By the way, look at this guy. I'm not at any bandwagon. Who told you that? You're 8 quarters of football, dude. I've not changed my opinion of you. Bandwagon? What, could you beat the fucking Giants? Look at this idiot. This guy's taking victory laps, beating the Giants. Congratulations to you. You beat a shitty team and you did your job. This is a guy that Jay likes to be patted on the back for doing his gig, for beating what you're supposed to do. What a tool. Hey, congratulations. You beat a fucking shitty team. Way to go, dude. Congratulations. Way to beat the shitty Giants. Bandwagon. What? Beating the Giants? No, I don't think so, dude. Yeah, whatever, fuck fag. I'm not on no bandwagon. That didn't move the needle for me. Your 8 quarters of football haven't moved the needle. Now, your younger players have. Okay? Your younger players have. Vic's been great. Last 2 weeks. Jalen Hurts now. Playing complimentary football. I wish he believed that. Because if you play complimentary football, you'll do exactly what you've done the last 2 weeks. You know what that is? If I have to throw for 260, I will. If I have to throw for 114, I will. Let's see if they do that and keep that trend up. You said that Barkley's performance was self-explanatory. It was. I like this comment here. It's really weird the way he talks about Nick. He goes, Nick knows that I got his back and I'm behind him. He does really a lot of nice things. He's apologetic when needed. I'm like, what? Why would I apologize to you? You play for me, kid. I don't coach for you. Wait a minute. What is a fuck bag? It's Jay. Well, you must not. Hey, Prince, you must not have a fuck bag. So that doesn't shock me, eunuch. All right. Barkley's a classy dude, man. Here's Saquon. I gotta get the Saquon here. Please hit the like button here. Where are we in likes right now, Xander? Let me know. Happy the game is over. He said that he didn't realize that they were burning his jersey in the parking lot and they were putting a bonfire on. Okay, 186. Thank you, my friends. Please, let's see if we can get to 200 here by the top. That'd be great, right, Xander? Hey, that was wild. That he said that he's never, ever seen anybody burn his jersey before like that. He didn't want to stay in for the numbers he was asked. I'll tell you one thing, man. I've never seen a football player own MetLife like he does. Every time he plays in that stadium, man, I think he's rushed for 3,000 yards. I mean, I think he's got like 23 touchdowns in that building, and he owns that building, man. He does, man. He likes playing there. And yeah, I was just a classy dude, man. He goes like this. I want to say this about the New York Giants. I'll always love the New York Giants. They drafted me. They made my dreams come true. I want to thank Howie Roseman because he took a shot on me. I love the Giants, but this is where I'm at now. This is where we're at. And we're going to try to do everything we can to put as many of these behind us as we possibly can in the win column. He's a classy kid, man. He's a testament to your organization. He really is. He does a lot. He does almost all the little things exceptional. Here's my game balls. By the way, Xander will join us at 3:30. Gary Cobb. By the way, hey, Eric Allen is joining us tomorrow at 3:30. Just so you know. Joining us tomorrow at 3:30, Eric Allen. You guys have been screaming for him. We're going to get Eric Allen on. That'll be tomorrow at 3:30. I'm working also on Clyde Simmons. He's a coach in college. I'm working on him. But we're going to get tomorrow at 3:30 Eric Allen and get his thoughts on the Eagles. So that'll be tomorrow, and it's confirmed. We tweeted it out at Dan Sileo Show already. Eric Allen will join us tomorrow. Holy cow. Polska, thank you so much, dude. Thank you. You're right, Sills. I haven't changed my mind on this team. They played two shitty teams, beat them. I would want them to play a Ravens team or a team that's a playoff team like they played the Giants. I'm not falling for this again. That's exactly correct. Now, here's the one thing, though, Polska, that I'll say to you to give you a little bit, though, of takeaways from Giants and Browns. They learned not to play down versus the Browns in this Giant game. They played up to their skill set. They played with energy. They didn't allow the shitty personnel that the Giants have drag them down, and they played up. And what they did also was they modified their game plan. I'm sure they wanted to throw the ball a ton in that game. But when they realized the Giants couldn't stop the run, they ran the ball a boatload of times, and they ended up blowing that football team out. Dude, you're never going to lose a football game. Polska, you're never going to lose a football game when you run the ball for 270 yards. You're not losing that game. You're just not losing that. Guys, let me know where we are in the like button right now. I appreciate it. Xander's going to join us. That'll be at 3:30. By the way, I can't thank you enough for the super chats and the likes today. Thank you. Very cool. Do these wide receivers realize that if they win the Super Bowls, they will make their money back in endorsements? Winners get paid. Look at Travis Kelce, Kim. That's not how they see that. This is an ego thing. Okay? It's ego. Who's the top wide receiver in the game right now? Isn't it funny? Who, Tyreek Hill? I'll make a comment to you about AJ. Would you take a wide receiver in the NFL? Would you take a wide receiver in the NFL over AJ Brown after the catch? Jefferson? I don't know. Jefferson's skill set is separation and getting behind corners. AJ doesn't do that. He just outmuscles you. I mean, he outmuscles you, and the guy, if you're single covered, you can't get on him. By the way, you know why that touchdown pass and how you left him single covered the Giants? You had to. Why? Barkley was schooling you. You had to play closer to the line of scrimmage, which means you had to be one-on-one out there on him. Dude, when the Eagles get that run game going, look how that opens up these guys in single coverage. AJ, he knows that too. Dude, when he went up for that football, I'm like this. He's coming down with that thing. He's got the strongest set of hands. And after the catch, it's impossible to get him on the ground. Maxon, DK Metcalf, probably. Dude, he's better than Debo. He's better than Tyreek Hill after the catch. Tyreek Hill just outruns you. This guy outmuscles you. I mean, his yards after catch must be insane when it comes to his separation. He is just he's impossible to defend. Okay? Dude, loving on AJ, his skill, yeah. His attitude, fuck no. Two things can be true, dude. Try it for a second. You'll understand how to break down a dude. Dude, nobody likes Aaron Rodgers. Dude, I'm sick of this. I don't have to quantify my fucking takes to you. But A.J. Brown is the same thing, kind of like, he's not quite as bad. No, well, Aaron Rodgers is bad right now. Just because you're a dickhead doesn't mean you're not good. You could be a dickhead and good. Look at Tyreek Hill. He's a complete tool. But he's great. Here are my game balls. And I put them in order. I got 9 of them, believe it or not. Number 1, Saquon Barkley, running back, 176. Completely controlled that game. Was the star of that football game. And there wasn't anybody close. He was the best player on the field. Actually, the second best player on that field, in my opinion, was on the other side of the football, and it was Dexter Lawrence. He sticks out, man. He's a great player. Love the smash mouth ball, but can Barkley sustain? That will be something else that the Eagles are going to have to take into account, especially with a guy with a lot of miles on him. Okay? What's this? Look at this guy. Still trying his best not to side on us. I'm not sure what that means. I'll get you a UN translator. Seal's putting that Krispy Kreme glaze all over Saquon Barkley today. Well, let me ask you this. Senor, does he deserve it or no? Here, let's ask Senor this. Well, does he deserve it or no? Or would you rather have me shit on him and lie? Just tell me. Curious. So what I saw on Sunday wasn't real. Is that right? It's one game. He's played well for 6. We believed in Barkley in the offseason. We said he's our Christian McCaffrey. He's no Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey gets 1,000 yards receiving and 1,500 yards rushing. Don't put him in that room. He's nowhere near that kind of player. He is a Derrick Henry, Adrian Peterson kind of guy. He's not even shady. He's not a dual threat back. Jesus criminy. Get this. He's hurt. Hey, you know what's crazy about this comment right now? Your guy has had 2 knee surgeries in the last 4 years. And because in the first 6 games, let's see how this plays out. On October 21st, he's healthy. Let's see if he's healthy November 21st. Let's see. Because that's been suspect 3 of the last 5 years. We shall see, right? Right? That's who he is. You want to compare him to McCaffrey? Right? Stop with the injuries? Well, here, let me take a look at that. In the last 5 years here. Well, no, we got to look at trends here. We got to look at trends. Right? How many years has Saquon Barkley been injured in the last 5 years? So he's been injured 3 times in the last 5 years. Okay, well, let's see on November 31st if the guy will be healthy, because that will be a factor in how they're going to use him. Let's see, 23, played 14. It's 2 in the last 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 2. He missed that 20 season, came back in 13, or excuse me, in 21, and got 593 yards. And in the last, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth year, he's going to get $1,000 this year if he stays healthy. He's had 1,000-yard season in the last 4 years. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's my number. He's had 1,000 yards one time in 4 years. We'll see on November 21st if he's healthy. Okay, we'll see. So Barkley gets my game ball. Number 2, never thought I'd ever put this guy's name on a Big Sales game ball, but Nakobe Dean, linebacker. He was the second best Eagle on the field yesterday. The third best Eagle, in my opinion, on the field yesterday was Jalen Carter, defensive tackle. He gets a game ball. The fourth best was A.J. Brown, wide receiver. He gets a game ball. The fifth best Eagle was Josh Sweat. He gets a game ball, edge rusher. Number 6, never thought I'd put this guy's name on my game ball list. Nolan Smith. Thought he showed signs yesterday. He gets a game ball. Number 7, Zach Bond, playing the most consistent of any linebacker they have for the first 6 weeks. Had a solid football game. He gets a game ball. Number 8, Quinyon Mitchell, cornerback. He gets a game ball. Number 9, Kenny Gainwell, running back. He gets a game ball. So Barkley 1, Nakobe 2, Jalen Carter 3, A.J. Brown 4, Josh Sweat 5, Nolan Smith 6, Zach Bond 7, Quinyon Mitchell 8, Kenny Gainwell 9. Those are your guys that I would give game balls to. Those would be my guys that I thought were the 9 best players. I couldn't come up with a 10th. If you want to come up with a 10th, that's fine. But let's see here. Bob. Sales, yesterday's game plan shields Hurts' deficiencies like the RPO and keeps Hurts out of harm's way. It's a win-win for them. Jalen becomes the complement to Barkley. Led the role in the running game. Hey, Bob, but that's understanding your limitations with your quarterback and winning with it. That's fine with me. That's fine. Can they win a Super Bowl with that, with the quarterback being the weakest link in the offense? Probably not. That will be your problem when you get to Detroit and play them. By the way, let me ask you something, Bob. Bob, do you think the Philadelphia Eagles could beat Jared Goff and the Lions? Let me show you something on Jared Goff right now. You know, we've been talking about Hurts playing decent against the Browns and the Giants. You can't beat the Lions right now. Absolutely not. So Jared Goff in the last 3 games, where's that number? Jared Goff has a passer rating of 150. 150 in the last 3 games. Hasn't thrown an interception and averaging 305 yards a game with 7 touchdowns. I mean, that guy's insane. Insane. He threatens the perfect quarterback QBR rating every single game. He's threatening it. Jared Goff has gotten better as a player. He's gotten better. I mean, he's getting better. The roster's getting better. Still today, they cannot beat Detroit, but this continue to work this plan. They can control the clock and keep Goff sitting down. Quarterback's going to have to make plays, though, Bob. Okay? You're going to have to make plays. And the quarterback doesn't make plays. Now, I do dig the pass down the sideline to AJ. It was a great play by both men. He had people in his face. It was a nice throw. Real Eagle fans' frustrations with Hurts is because we need him to win it all. We don't need Hurts to be or to have amazing stats, but he needs to be able to process things better and get the ball to the open man. Lionel. Trying to explain that to people who are going to be avid Jalen Hurts fans is impossible to explain it to. That's why the guy never thrown for 4,000 yards and never will. Defensive line was more effective without Davis. The tandem of Milton Williams, Jalen Carter can really make some noise. You know what's funny? I brought this up last year, and I brought this up at the beginning of the season. Milton Williams is a better player than Jordan Davis. People were like this. Why isn't he starting? Well, why the hell do you think? He's not starting because Howie Roseman drafted Jordan Davis 13th. Jordan Davis is a bust. He is not a good football player. Oh, no. He's a good football player, but he's not what you expected. Dude, the backup is more productive right now. My problem with Jordan Davis is this. His attitude on staying in shape and his production. He doesn't have any. He has no discipline to stay in shape, and he has no discipline to make plays. Milton Williams is a better football player. It's evident. Watch the game tape. I mean, it's obvious. I don't know how Jordan Davis hasn't lost his starting job. Everybody else on that defense is showing signs of getting better. Nolan Smith, shit, even Bryce Huff. The only guy who's not getting better is Davis. Okay? Still, I worried that Howie will think winning these games makes us good enough and won't do anything at the deadline. I'll say this to you. Right now, I'm not sure you need to do anything on the deadline. Maybe some depth pieces. I'm gonna give you a great comment last night that my wife made, who's a rugby coach, and she said something to me about Russell Wilson. On Jalen's best day, he could beat Detroit, but right now, he's too inconsistent. Great take, Des. Great take. You know, my wife said last night, I'm watching Russell Wilson play in the first half, and there was Mike Tomlin. Do you know what those coaches told me? 2 assistant coaches told me on the Steelers staff that not one coach wanted to see Russell Wilson start that game against the Jets last night, except one, Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin made the call. It was his call last night. Every coach on the Steelers staff was afraid to go and move off of a guy who had the team at 4-2, right? We're too afraid. On Jalen's best day, he could beat Detroit, but right now he's too inconsistent. Absolutely. Booker showing up in the noise as well. He's good too. But you know what, my wife said? So last night I'm watching him, and it's kind of a train wreck, and Ben Roethlisberger said, you can't bench him. Nah, Mike Tomlin said, nah, we're going my way here. Second half, he was electric. You're going to go far with Russell Wilson playing like that last night. Now, that's Russell Wilson today. That's kind of Russell Wilson to Denver. He's not Russell Wilson Seattle anymore. But Mike made the right call. He was patient. It was his call. He believed he was the best for the team. That's a head coach. Okay? Putting the right people in. Nick doesn't have that say. I'll tell you this. Vic Fangio might have that say to pull Jalen Carter and pull him out of there. Okay? He may have that say. Vic's doing I'll tell you this. I know some of you hate the scheme. Do you notice that hey, let me ask you this. And we're going to get Xander here at the bottom of the hour. So yesterday when the team played well and the players were playing well, is it scheme still? Or is it players? Is it scheme? Scheme had 8 sacks. Scheme held the team to 119 total yards. Scheme had nothing to do with it. It had everything to do with bringing pressure and the players playing better. The scheme you hate held the team to less than 120 yards of total offense. I mean, you heard Dave wants that about players, man. Sills, the quarterback does need to make plays, but controlling the game limits the number of plays Hurts will need to make so we can stay in the game. It also keeps the D fresh to attack the opposing offense. That's when you run the ball, Bob. Bob, if you think that they're going to go back against Cincinnati and they're going to run the ball against Cincinnati, there's no way. There's no way. It's Burrow versus, by the way, both these quarterbacks have been flexed out of Sunday Night Football. I mean, I'm just saying here, they don't want to see a running attack. The owner knows that. And I said it on get this, I said it on the postgame show. Get this, listen to this. Yes, they are, Sills. They're going to continue to run the ball. They paid one guy $35 million, the other guy $25, the quarterback $50, so that they could run the ball 40 times. This guy's fucking dumb as a rock. Is that what, really? You paid all them guys all that money to run the ball 40 fucking times. The guy's stupid. That guy is stupid. I mean, why pay all those? And you have a wide receiver bitching about his targets. Sills, why on 4th and 3 does Hurts throw it 40 yards to Brown? Yes, he caught it, but I don't agree with it. Same 4th down with Dotson, and it didn't work. Why not 7-yard out or 5 yards to a tight end, Sam? They believe in what? Explosion plays. They tell you that all the time. They believe in explosion plays. They don't believe in doing the right thing and throwing underneath and checkdowns, even though that's how Mahomes and Brady have won 13 of the last, 25 Super Bowls? I mean, come on, man. Patrick Mahomes not throwing a ball down the field. Get this. You know what's sick about Mahomes? He's not even playing great, and he's still winning and making fun of teams. That's how crazy that is. That guy could throw pick after pick after pick. Yeah, but guess what? When it comes to making a play to win the game, just ask the Hurts Eagles or the Niners, Kyle Shanahan team, the last 2 Super Bowls. He makes the play when it matters. Just makes the play when it matters. You can't beat that team right now. Now, will they be playing like that in December and January? My concern would be last year they weren't playing and winning ball games like this. Can you imagine if that team goes undefeated and wins a third straight championship? What an iconic moment that will be for the league and the team and Andy. Can you explain the impact of scheme to me? Okay. Well, in today's NFL, because of pass interference rules, why have a guy play man and have him chucking down the field and opportunities at getting pass interference when you can have a guy back there 10 yards off the ball playing center field, keeping everything in front of him? And what you're looking at with too high safety and the way the corners play off the ball with Vic Fangio's scheme, they're trying to keep everything in a zone underneath them and not giving up the plus 25 play. You know, back in the day, it used to be called, do you want to be stabbed to death and bleed quick? That would be man coverage. Or do you want to have a slow death? That's zone coverage. Today's NFL, what these coordinators believe, you're not going to make 13 plays in a row to score a touchdown or put points on the board. Somewhere in there, you're going to make a sequence mistake. You're going to run the ball. You're going to be third and long. You're going to get your football team behind the sticks. And before you know it, you're going to be 3 and out. And that's what they're hoping for. They want to keep everything underneath. And because of salary cap today and because of the way the league is built, it's an offensive league. So you're seeing more of that style of defense. You're not going to see the Tampa style defense any longer. You're not going to see the Ravens style defense. So most of the defensive schemes are going to be exactly like that. And it helps your salary cap. Look at the Eagle defense right now. You got lesser experienced players on your football team. Why? Because they're cheaper. I'm not saying they're not going to be good one day, but you're cheaper than 22. All those guys were on one-year deals. Remember, Slay and all them guys and Bradbury were on one-year deals. They gave Bradbury the deal. They restructured Slay's deal. And plus, those guys were rentals. One was a trade. So, I mean, and every one of them, you had Hargrave on a 1 year. You signed Reddick to a 2-year. But most of those guys, like TJ and them guys and Kaiser, were all 1-year deals. But they were experienced ball players. But they knew how to play too high safety. So you're seeing more of that in today's game. Okay? You're seeing more of that. Dude, Purdy had 3 picks yesterday against Kansas City. So, guy played a poor game. Happens. Your guy's played a ton of them. And what's the point? He's still 21-8 as a starter. What the fuck are you talking about? He's played great ball. Had a bad game. Happens. Welcome to the NFL. Welcome to the NFL. Hey, just like Jalen, you start missing players, guy had a problem. We said that from day one. He needs his players around him. Okay? By the way, Kyle Shanahan's 0-5 against Andy Reid. Okay? Not with Hurts. Of course not. Even though Hurts has had the most turnovers of anybody since the start of 23. Sure, okay. Yeah, because you beat the shitty. Here you go again. You beat the shitty Giants and you beat the shitty Browns. All of a sudden now you're ready to roll. We'll see. You said that, get this, I feel like this is deja vu again when you were 10-1 last year. And I had to try to give some sense to you, but you didn't want to hear it. And then when your team shit the bed and absolutely looked pathetic at the end of the year, all of you were going, wow, I can't believe he was right. Hang in there. You're starting to see signs. But if I were you, I wouldn't be hanging my hat on shitty teams that you're supposed to. I've never seen a percentage of a fan base want to get kudos for beating up on teams that you're supposed to. Holy shit. Act like you've been there. Kansas City acts like it every day. You don't act like a champion team when you're looking for kudos over beating the New York Giants. You got to be kidding me, guy. I feel like I'm talking to a team that's never done anything before, or a fan base that doesn't understand that you've never done anything. What have you done in the last 2 years? Nothing. Hang in there. You have done nothing. You're 15-9 in the last 2 years. Hang on there. You've done nothing. Jesus criminy. Yeah. Cowboys want credit for beating bad teams all the time. Just what you got to do is just look at the people that are in here, Anthony. They could change their handles and be Cowboy fans, some of these guys. I mean, absolutely. We ain't ready to roll. They're showing signs, though, Akbar. We're happy about the way they won and want to see them do the same thing next week. No one should feel we're there yet, but cool to see cylinders. Yes, Akbar, that's fair. Hey, Akbar, you understand that you're going to see people look at you and go, don't have common sense. Act like a fool, like a cheerleader, and wave your pom-poms beating two teams that, get this, good teams are supposed to win against teams like that. You're not supposed to be getting kudos. For you guys wanting kudos winning against the Giants just shows you how far you are from being a championship contender. Exposes you, actually. Now, I do like what I'm awake or you just said, and I agree. That needle is moving, especially on the defensive side. Yes, not on the offensive side. The only thing the offense did yesterday, great. You know what would be the one thing that you would say that the offense did that was great yesterday? What would be the one thing? What would be the one thing? By the way, please hit the like button. All supers go to the top. Do we have to rethink the definite bet a Super Bowl? Time of possession. Running the football. There you go. They found what was going to dominate the game and they stuck to it. Something they're not able to do for whatever reason. And they didn't get off it. They knew what they could do against the Giants. They didn't care how it looked. They ran the ball. How many rushing attempts did they have yesterday? Had to be over 40. How many rushing attempts did the Eagles have yesterday against the Giants? They had to have over 40 attempts in that game. I mean, you're not losing a game when you run the ball for 270. Then again, Barkley only had here team rushing. $45 attempts. Wow. 45 rushing attempts. Dude, Jeffrey Lurie's probably pissed off. 45 running attempts? Holy cow. Hey, will the Eagles have a game plan where they're going to run the ball 45 times against Cincinnati? No way. No way. 45 rushing attempts. Oh, run the damn ball. We've all been saying it. That is us. That's our strength. When we are run first offense, you dominate. It's absolutely true. Absolutely true. Jan, thank you so much for coming aboard and being a new member here. We really appreciate it. Guys, hit the like button. We so appreciate you guys coming aboard here. Holy cow, man. I got to tell you, man, I don't know what's happened to John McMullen. I think he's been Sileo-ized because John and I were the same. You should have seen Xander on the postgame. By the way, I encourage you to go back and watch it. You should have seen Xander. Wait a minute. Are you two guys going to take a shit on a win like that? Nobody's taking a shit on anything. But, I mean, you have to put things in proper perspective here. I mean, you're supposed to do this to a team like that, aren't you? Or wait a minute. Here's your kudos. Way to go. You beat the Giants. Hey, congratulations to you, Howie. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Gary Cobb will join us at 4:30 Eastern. By the way, don't forget, tomorrow at 3:30, Eric Allen's going to join us, and we're going to talk with the legendary Philadelphia Eagle, and we're going to get his takes. But now, without further ado, it's time for a little bit more optimism, for a little bit more Eagle love. The host of the pregame show on Sundays prior to an Eagle game, and then the postgame, and then the co-host of Birds 365. It is Big Z, Xander Krause.
What's up, Big Show?
How's it going, brother?
Good, man. I'm feeling good after that win, bro. I thought they really handled business. I am not in the camp of we're going to the Super Bowl, but I'm also not in the camp of we play the Giants and you take absolutely nothing from it. And what was the word John used this morning? The word he used about the offense, not translatable or something along those lines where you can't use any of it. And I just completely dismissed that assumption.
Well, you're going to have to throw out of the pocket to win a Super Bowl. You're not going to run the ball 45 times to win a Super Bowl in a playoff game. Name me a game that's ever been done like that. Never.
Yeah,
Never
but there's got to be nuance.
NFL.
There's got to be nuance, and you saw that this week with the approach based on the opponent.
You're not going to win a Super Bowl running the ball like that. No one does that. You're not going to beat Mahomes like that.
Why do you say that?
Because you're not going to run the ball for 270 yards against Kansas City.
Well, that's fine, but I think when you look at the game you played yesterday and their approach, I mean, did that not show you that they're willing to get off of what they've done, what they want to do when the game calls for it?
So you think you can be one-dimensional and win in the playoffs?
I'm not saying that.
Well, that's what that was yesterday. That was 14 passes is one-dimensional on 45 carries.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm not going to lie about that. That you're right about that, but you know, it adds something to the offense that you hadn't seen in a while.
How about this, Xander? Do you agree with this? The one thing that my big takeaway is that they saw something to dominate a game. And the one thing, maybe we're saying the same thing in a way, because here, let me go here with this. The one thing that the Eagles showed you that's different than Kansas City. Kansas City can't run the ball for 270 yards. But you know what you can do? You can. Can you throw the ball for 260? Are you saying that there's more? You see more versatility opportunities?
Well, no, because you tell me all the time before going into a game, if they throw for 35 times, they're going to lose. If he throws less than 25, they're going to win. So why is that approach? Now that they did that, now you're saying it's one-dimensional? That's the better way to win with Jalen Hurts.
But that's right. But I never said they'd win a Super Bowl with him at the quarterback
they came
position.
Within a couple plays by doing that.
Oh, yeah, I got all that. So did Jimmy Garoppolo getting, and so did Brock Purdy last year get into an overtime and almost win it too. So, I mean, I get it.
Isn't that what we want?
You want balance. You got to have balance, man. You got to have balance. How about this?
Did they not show balance yesterday? What am I missing?
45 carries and 14 passes is not
but that's what
balance.
That particular game called for.
They won a game playing.
And by the way, let me ask you this. What was the only quarter and the only stretch in that game that the Philadelphia Eagles did not score or look competent on offense?
The first quarter.
Why? Because they were throwing the ball everywhere. The next drive in the second quarter started. They had I forget how many yard drive it was. It was a 8 straight run plays right to the end zone.
No, in the last 40 years, nobody's won a Super Bowl like this.
Yeah, but I'm not looking at it. When I think about the Eagles offense, I don't think about you have to be here, and then you're here, and then you're here again, and then you're here. I am looking at a linear progression each week. If you can add something to your offense over time and build up each element of the offense, by the time you get to the other side of Thanksgiving, your offense is not one-dimensional. It's one-dimensional.
Who's saying that they're going to go into Cincinnati and run the ball? They haven't shown it but one game in the last month, year and a half.
They found something that they can build on that
so
adds to the dimensions of the offense. I'm not looking to be the greatest team in the world in October. I think they should stick to some part of it, yes. Okay. You have a top 5 offensive line. You're not going to run behind it?
Okay.
Like I'm saying, all right, you're right. You're probably not going to win.
I don't believe they're going to stick to it.
Isn't this progress in showing that this is what this game called for, and they knew that that was the best way to victory? They didn't need to put it on. We say it all the time. Stop putting everything on Jalen Hurts. They didn't do it yesterday, and it worked well.
Okay.
Now take that, take the good from it, and build on it. Okay. That's an element to the offense you've now added. Okay. Now, by the time you get to the end of the year, if they rely on this a little bit more, I'm not saying become a 45 runs a game guy. Rely on this a little bit more. Throw when you need to throw. Jalen Hurts was under center a little bit yesterday. The first play from scrimmage was a play action pass under center. Add some of that in. Now, all of a sudden, by the time you're in December and late December into January, you have a more well-rounded offense. That's what we've been looking for from Kellen Moore.
I don't believe they're going to stick to that formula. They have not shown
stick to it full time. There's no doubt.
No, I don't think they're going to stick to it when they get into these late in the December and January games and they get into the playoffs.
Okay, well, if the fucking Eagles organization loves analytics so much and they want to build everything that they do as an organization on analytics, how about this for the analytics department? 658 rushing yards in 6 games, the most ever by an Eagles running back in history through 6 games. Do the analytics guys look at that and say, you know what? Let's take our dual threat quarterback and instead throw the ball 50 times a game? Get new analytics if that's your analytics, because the analytics tell me, hey, that works.
Well, again, the 2 things that I'll say to you once again, you can't name me a top flight running back that has led an NFL team to a Super Bowl in the last 15 years. And so when you say that you're going to run the ball, I mean, look, even the running backs and wide receivers, this is all quarterback, dude. If your quarterback can't win from the pocket, you're not going to win.
Yeah, but we're not one-dimensional. Like, we're not built like the Giants were. And what I mean by that is you have players.
The Giants were so bad they only had to beat them one-dimensionally.
No, I know. I'm saying our offense is not. I get what you're saying. You can't just beat them with a running attack. We only had a running attack yesterday, but that doesn't mean that's all we are. We have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert. Eventually, something's got to give. I think adding this to the offense can only improve your offense overall. I get what you're saying. You're right. I mean, and by the way, I'm not going to live in delusion land of, become, ground and pound team. That's not what the organization's ever going to do. It's not what they're ever going to do.
By the way, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, because what did it do? Look what it did to the Giants in the second half. They fucking quit. They put their hands up. Wasn't that 22? How many times you see teams by the way, all super chats will be read. Please hit the like button, guys. Thank you very much. Xander, they knocked that team into submission. Now, will they stick to that? Now, again, too, one thing I want to bring up with the A.J. Brown comment.
Yeah, I'm with you on this. The more I listen to that comment, and John mentioned it to me this morning. Sorry to cut you off. I'll let you go, but
no, go ahead. I want to hear it.
I didn't respond to it this morning and almost didn't register. And then after the show, I'm going back and I'm listening and I'm like, even if you're kidding, there's always some truth in jokes, right? Correct. So that's what they say.
Correct.
Why kid about that? You're wearing a C. It's the same problem you have with Darius Slay. You're wearing a C on your chest. Your guy just marched back into MetLife Stadium and probably got a coaching staff and a GM fired because he proved how great of a football player he is. And you got to say, oh, we need the ball too.
And you
Dude,
beat a team
you
by
have 3,000
25.
yards in 2 seasons in Philly. You're making $32 million a year. Sit down and and by the way, the dude had 89 yards and a touchdown yesterday.
And you beat a team by 25.
Sit down and shut up, AJ. This
Dude,
is where I look. I've defended AJ on this show. How many times to you? And I tell you all the time, I can't defend that.
He's a great player. There is no doubt about it. But when you're asked the question and you answer it, and I wanted to make sure that I wrote it down exactly in how he said it. And again, like you said, a little tongue in cheek, but at the end of the day, you see his antics on the sideline sometimes talking about his targets. Now, get this. A.J. Brown asked about the Eagles only having 14 passing attempts. He laughed twice. Then he said this. It's a good thing, man. Hey, whatever. Happy the guys were able to run the ball, but we want the ball also, man. I mean, I wish we had more passing attempts to us. You know, you take it for what it is, and now it's on to the next game. And I sat there and thought about this, and I went, why didn't you just say, like, look at Devontae, dude. 1 catch minus 2 yards. That might still, in my opinion, been 200 yards of receiving yards. I fucking love the way that guy conducts himself and handles himself. Can you imagine if A.J. Brown came out of that game with 1 catch and minus 2 yards and you still won by 25? There would be a new topic this week. Last week it was Nick. This week it would be him. And my point again is, like you said, is it a nothing burger? But this just shows you why Jalen has to get the ball to him. Yeah. It's important to him to get the ball to him. Look, he's a great player. I get it. But A.J. Brown was a non-factor last year down the stretch for winning the NFC East and home field advantage. He was a non-factor, and they were still throwing him the 3rd most targets in the league. Come on, dude. You won a game by 25 points. Who cares? Doesn't this go down? This is why they got rid of Stephon Diggs in Buffalo. You know why? Last year they had a game where they threw the ball 14 times against Dallas, and they won, right? Stephon bitched about it. They moved his ass because they didn't want that guy to be reliant on one guy.
Here's what I'll say. They better keep AJ happy because this motherfucking offense doesn't work when that dude doesn't get the ball. So look, I don't love the comments, but man,
wait a minute. Who do you think is more deadly right now, Barkley or AJ?
I think they're both pretty deadly. Well, here's the thing. When AJ goes out, they prove they can't win without him. We haven't yet seen that with Barkley.
Correct.
And that's the difference. Now, right now, Barkley's a dominant player. 686 rushing yards. In 6 games. The dude
10 yards to carry.
I mean, the dude is just an absolute beast. And I'm still trying to get John to eat his crow on Saquon, which he just won't do. He told me wasn't going to make a difference on this team. And the dude he's making about as big of a difference. He's making a near Derrick Henry impact on this team. I mean, right there with him. Maybe not as much as Derrick Henry has in Baltimore, but right there with him. And I'm just waiting for Johnny Mac to say, yeah, I was dead wrong about Saquon. He won't do it, though.
Let me tell you what I told Carton, and Carton's going to bring this up tomorrow. I said this: if that wasn't the ultimate fuck you, Joe Schoen yesterday, he sat out the 4th quarter.
Yep.
They didn't play, jammed it in their face. And dude, I'm with every single Giant fan. You know what that was? I was like this: that guy never lived up to the 2nd pick in the draft. Well, you know what he showed you in that game on Sunday? Dude, if you built a competent O-line, you put good players around me. Shit, if you put Ryan Tannehill around me, I would have won you games and we would have been a good football team. But at the end of the day, they didn't do it. They did let him down. If Saquon Barkley had played his entire career in Philadelphia, he'd be in Canton.
Yeah, I mean, I like that take that you said. Boy, I tell you what, with this offensive line, the way he's running right now, yeah, it'd be hard for me to dispute that. But as you mentioned, this isn't what the team wants to do. So as much as Saquon Barkley has impressed me,
so troubling.
I would make him the focal point of the all. When I say that, even John had the same interpretation. I must not be getting it across correctly because you had the same takeaway. I'm not saying to just run the ball. Like when you go into a game versus, I don't like
But
to use.
John knows you're not going to do that normally to a team. You're not going to run for 270, dude.
Yeah, but John also believes that the organization is right to just throw the ball all day.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah, I don't either.
You're not going to win. No, he's not.
You
He's
got
not
to
Mahomes.
build on it, though, Sills. When you have a top 5 offensive line, when you have a running back like Saquon Barkley, run it down their throat. It open. It's like the most common part of football. You learn it in Pop Warner.
That's
You
why
run the
AJ was
ball,
wide
and you
open.
set
That's
up
why
the pass.
AJ was open on that touchdown pass because
Why
they were
can't we
playing
just
close to the
play
line of
simple
scrimmage.
football? Why can't we play like even on the first couple of drives again? They airing the ball out. Like the first, I mentioned the first play from scrimmage that was under center. It was a play action pass. They picked up a first down. I hated it. I mean, it was great to see him under
Those
center
first
and run
20
play
plays,
action, but I'm like, man, work him into the game. Run the ball. Rely on that offensive line. Play bully ball, and then watch the game open up. Watch Jalen Hurts step up to the line and say, oh, man, I know exactly where I'm going with the ball because now they're cheating to try and take away Saquon Barkley, or they're cheating on this side to try and take away A.J. Brown. So I know Devon. It's going to open up everything for the quarterback. By the way, the young quarterback who just took into his hands all the pre-snap reading, all the coverage calls, all the, the audibling, all of those things he's now doing. I think we've proven that we potentially put too much on Jalen Hurts' plate too quick. I'm not saying scale back fully, but maybe let him ease into things. You have a great offensive line and a great running back.
Ease into things with a $50 million
You have every
quarterback?
tool you need, though.
No way. Why'd you pay him $50 million then you're easing things in?
That's what John says. So you're going to scale back now?
You're paying a guy $50 million. We got to fucking ease into the game plan with this guy. Come on here, man.
Dude, that's
let's
just good
go.
football.
Well, then you don't have the right game plan.
Well, that's a whole other conversation. We definitely don't have the right game plan. That's why he got 0 points in the first quarter.
How about this one here? Dude, let me read you this. This is pretty. When I saw these numbers, first 6 weeks of the season for the Eagle defense, 19.2 a game, 7th. 304.3 total yards, 9th. 189.2 pass defense, 9th. 115.2 rush defense, 15th. 2 takeaways, which is the worst in the league, which to me, it's always how the ball bounces sometimes. I mean, you build on that.
No doubt. I think 100% you build on that.
I mean, we're not talking about Browns and Giants here. We're talking about the first 6 weeks here. I mean,
that's pretty. That's
encouraging.
Those numbers are pretty impressive. I mean, that's pretty crazy that's what the numbers are. Look, the defense is definitely coming alive. Now, yesterday, I give the defense, as great as they were yesterday, if you're going to talk about like diminishing your takeaways because of opponent, I'm taking more away from the defense than I am from the offense.
Oh, yes.
That Giants defense led the league in sacks. They were a top 10 defense coming into the game in every meaningful category.
And that guy in the middle's the real deal.
Yes, he is. And he showed it again yesterday. But ultimately, we bullied them. We destroyed them. Now, that Giants offense, oh boy. Yeah, they're not there. That Giants offense is
yeah,
bad.
But Xander, what I liked about the way the defense, they never let them have hope. And they stifled them and they suffocated them and they did the things. And I got to tell you, the last 2 weeks, I think Vic Fangio's come to the conclusion he can't sit back in his style of play and let them dictate the tempo to him. He's going to dictate the tempo. I'll tell you something else, man. I don't know if you agree with me on this one or not, but that Cooper DeJean, now I want people to say this, and I want them to understand when I say this. He is a better athlete than Quinyon Mitchell. I'm not saying he's a better corner, not even near close saying that. But I'll tell you what, I see why people called him like a high school savant when he was in Iowa, where he was a 29-point scorer in high school basketball. He was this track and field superstar, high hurdler. He was this dude. He is some athlete. Yeah. You can see it.
Yeah, you're saying athlete.
Returns.
Yeah. You're saying athlete. I mean, being a great
athlete. I'm saying athlete. Yeah.
A great corner. Yeah. I think Quinyon's clearly, home run pick, at least through 6 games as a cornerback. He looks like he could be a bona fide cornerback 1 for a very long time. But boy, to your point about Cooper DeJean, and you said something last night on the post-game show that I was thinking about. Britton Covey don't got a job here no more. He's not. Britton Covey might have been the best punt returner in the league by way of stats and all those things. He's not as good as that dude. That dude, Cooper DeJean, could see the field. He gets there. He's athletic, like you said, and he's not a pinball
Dude,
when he runs into traffic.
Over. Hey, he's looking for contact.
Yeah, he's not crash test Covey, we used to call him.
No way, man. And plus, you know what? You notice one thing he did on punt returns too? How many times did he do this on the punt return? Dude, when you know you have a special guy, this is what Devin Hester used to do. So he's looking up, and then he did this, Sander. He looked down, he looked to his left, and he looked to his right. Do you know when you're running down and you see the guy, you're going under his movement and his eyes, and that's how it shifts on how you're going to tackle. What he did was he kept everyone in their lane until the last second, and it's a skill set. That's because this guy must have been a great baseball player too, because last second he would catch it and everyone would have to shift at the end. The real inexperienced guys do this. They look up, and what happens? The pursuit ends up coming down. The wide guy ends up going out wider, and you have that all turning because the guy's head in his position. Cooper DeJean was doing this. He was going like that, and he was keeping everybody in their lane. That is such a skill set. It's unbelievable to watch.
And that's one of those things you don't really learn. You either got that or you don't probably. And
you know, exactly. Watch it. Like, it's like looking up for a fly ball, looking around and going like this and then going like that and catching it.
Yeah. I mean, the coordination on that is unbelievable.
Absolutely. Dude, he is just absolutely fantastic here. Bryce Huff's, by the way, here, how about this one? Dude, Josh Sweat's not getting enough love. He's playing really good football.
Yeah, he's been the most consistent edge all year. I mean, even back to game 1 and 2 when we were ripping the edge rushers, he was like not great, but he was the one where you weren't like, okay, he's out to pasture on the milk carton with Bryce Huff and Nolan Smith. You know, he's been solid this year, Josh Sweat, and you know, it's good because that's going to open everything up for the whole defense. If they can get home on the edge, it's going to make life easier for the guys in the middle. If life's easier for the guys in the middle, the whole defensive line is getting the pressure that they need. That now your cornerbacks and your second level linebackers, everybody is going to play better when that front 7 does what their front 4 really does what they're supposed to do. And that's what the defense is built on. John's been telling me that for months. You know, that defensive line, if they get pressure, everything else will work better, and that's what they're starting to do.
Thank you, Kimbo. I really appreciate that, Kim. Thank you very much. Sills, I come here for you. Your experience, football IQ, integrity, that's all. Right strategy for each individual game. True pro. Only reason I'm here. Kimbo, named like my wife, Kim. Thank you very much, Kim. I got your pictures. I promise you I'll follow you over at Dan Sileo Show on my X account.
Sills, can I just say the women on this show are getting out of hand. They got Sileo acting a fool. Sue, that's you too, Sue. You and Kim. Everybody's got all these women in here got Sills acting a fool on the show.
Yeah, my wife goes like this. My wife goes like this. Good. You're 40 years old and you're dead anyway. All right. Hey, let me say this about Cam Jurgens. Cam got killed in the first half. But you know what he did in the second half? He settled down. They started running the ball. He created run game. How about when he got out there on the perimeter like he was Jason Kelsey, and he got out there and blew up that edge rusher, knocked that guy or linebacker on his ass, and Barkley goes down the sideline. Pretty damn good stuff there, man. I'll tell you what, he's never going to play against a guy like that in the middle ever again. And he won't. But he will, because he gets to see him again. This time at Lincoln Financial. So you get that. Hey, the only bad thing for Cam, he's got that guy 2 times a year. But that's going to make him better, man.
It's definitely going to make him better. I think that was just a power thing, though, man. Like, even Jason Kelsey, sometimes in his career, I know people, might get mad at me for saying it because Jason Kelsey is one of those guys you can't criticize. And I'm not criticizing him. But every once in a while, Jason Kelsey would just be outpowered. Like a guy like Vita Vea. And that was what that was yesterday. It's not a knock on Cam Jurgens. It's more of a hat tip to Dexter Lawrence and how much of an actual beast that guy is. The power that he has is unbelievable. But look, nothing burger yesterday. We ran all over that team. We
They
made
did,
that
man.
Giants defense look like a sieve.
Xander. Okay, so a nose tackle's on pace for 22 and a half.
How many sacks
22.2.
did he have yesterday? God, he's up to 9 already.
Yeah, he's got 9 in 6 games.
Dexter is insane. 9 sacks as
Yeah.
a nose through
In
7
6
games?
Yeah, 7 games. 7 games. He's got 9 sacks.
And he's got 10 games to go. This dude might get up to 20 sacks.
Dude, I've never seen anything like that there. Hey, what
Yeah,
about
but the way
nose?
Jalen holds the ball, he's good for another 2 next time he plays the
Oh,
Eagles.
absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you make of Jalen's play?
I'm all right with it. I'm completely all right with it. Handle your, I think there's some micro things that you could look at and you're like, you probably want to get that fixed because at a later date, it might not work out so good when you have a playoff team, right? Like the 3rd down and 3 where he missed Smitty across the middle and he missed Gainwell out of the backfield. No, it was Gainwell, I think, on that play.
Okay.
And then you get to the 4th down and 3 and he makes it. I mean, I'm going to give him credit. The throw to A.J. Brown, the touchdown was absolutely
And he
perfect.
got hit in the face when he threw it.
Yes, he did. He was on his back foot. Perfect throw. But, you'd like to see him make that decision because it was right there in front of him on that 3rd down. But overall, look, he made up for it. And I think that's one of the parts of Jalen Hurts that you just can't quantify. He does keep coming. And he doesn't give up, and he makes plays. I mean, here and there. You could criticize some of his abilities, his arm strength, whatever it is you want to criticize, the reading of the defenses. The dude makes plays sometimes, and that 4th down was a perfect example of it. That was a hell of a throw to A.J. Brown. Now, do I worry that he's relying on A.J.? A little bit, but A.J.'s proven he's good enough to handle it. So, if you add another – that's why I'm excited about the run game because it showed another dimension, right? Before we were – AJ or bust. Like literally, that's what our offense was.
Oh, you are. Five completions for 25 yards besides AJ. Here's Jalen Hurts' statistics in that game Sunday. If AJ's not on the field, 5 completions for 25 yards. How you doing?
Yeah, not good. But look, he added the run game dimension to it. Now let's get Devontae Smith. All of a sudden, by week 12, 13, 14, you got a more cohesive offensive unit. I'm looking at stacking bricks every week until, like Tom Brady and Bill Belichick said, the guys who won more Super Bowls than anybody. Football starts after Thanksgiving. Build on what you have right now and get there, get a little bit better each week. Figure out something to get better at, to incorporate in your offense, whether it's Jalen getting better at the playbook, the pre-snap reading, whatever it is. This week it was the run game. Add that in. Make it a part of your cohesive offense by the end of the year, and you're going to be tough to stop. Now, whether they do that, who knows?
How about this? This is gonna sound so fucked up when I say this. Ready? And I can't believe I'm going to say this. I liked Nick Sirianni at the mic after the game. He took a shot at himself when he said something about, hey, ask a guy about being emotional. Not that I know anything about that. I thought that was funny, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and I thought those guys, they said, had the best week of practice. You know what really makes it weird, though? Is Hurts' responses. It's weird. Nick knows that I have his back, and, we had a really good week. We do things. He's really good. Everything is working out right. He's apologetic when he has to be, and I'm like, what? I'm like, okay, Jalen, you're so weird that I'm going to start saying that, you're weird. So I'm going to start doing this to Hurts.
He is a little weird. He says some weird shit. Yeah, he says some weird shit.
So I'm going to take that.
Hey, look, I'm weird. I don't care. That's not a rip.
Hey, right. That's how I'm going to start taking that like this. He's just a weird guy.
Yeah, and we're all a little bit
weird responses. So I'm going to take it that it wasn't a shot at him. You know what I mean? Because he apologizes when he has to. I'm like, where the fuck did that come in? Why? What is that? I mean,
it's a weird comment. It is. That's Hurts. He talks in weird, sometimes weird phrases, and you're kind of trying to figure out, read between the lines, or is he just saying shit to say shit? You don't know sometimes, and I think that's part of the personality you get with him. I just want him to freaking go out and win games, not turn the ball. Wait, by the way, can I call out a trend? You tell me about trends all the time. We talked about the defensive trend. Two games, turnover-free football. That's the beginning of a trend. This is what we need to see from the
Why don't
elite.
you add the other one? No turnovers, and you haven't given up a touchdown. That's how you win
Well,
Super
that's
Bowls.
defensive. I'm talking strictly
No,
on
I'm
Jalen
talking
Hurts
as a
right now.
unit. I'm talking as a
Yeah.
unit. Oh, you're isolating Hurts. Okay.
I'm isolating Hurts, but just specifically because we've been hard on him through the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, and I have especially. And I got to call the honest side, and whenever I see he's played good football in the last 2 weeks, I think we can win with that type of football. Is it regressed from what people want to see when you talk about an elite quarterback and expecting him to put the team on your back and be this insane? Yeah, I'm not expecting that from Jalen, nor do I want the team to do that. We get enough great players on this football team to not have everything run through Jalen.
Do you
If he
know?
doesn't turn the ball over, we're going to be in good position.
Do you know how many people like yourself would never look at a 14 attempt and 114, 10 yards of play, 5 for 25, and say he had a good game? No, but he did, because you know what he did? All right, this ain't me. Here you go, Saquon, kill him. Go get him, dog.
Yeah,
It was like they sucked. It was like they went like this. You see that scene from Django. He send that, send the dogs after people like this. It's like, hey man, go get them. Go send the dogs. Go get those people, man. Go get them. And you're like this. Wow, man. This guy here, without a doubt, sent the dogs on the Giants. He sent the dogs on the Giants, man. I was impressed with that. Or it's like a general going, go get them guys, man. Go get them. And you send your top warriors after people. Dude.
Yeah, no, you're right. I like it.
Was great.
Look at this jerk off who comes in and has to kill my mood. Martin Perez, Roll Tide, Xander. What a shame that team is this year. Yeah, I'm feeling myself slip into the Miami mediocrity of what they've been for the last 20 years.
Oh, oh, what a shot back at Sills. Hey, man, that's right. Django went back for some love.
Seriously, how about the Miami crew coming out of the woodwork?
Holy cow, Xander.
Oh, my God. Hey, nice to see you guys. You woke up from the 1990s. Oh, good to see everybody in the conversation again.
Holy cow. My goodness. All right. I'm going to say something here that I can't believe I'm going to do also. You ready? Second best player on the field for the Eagles was Nakobe Dean.
I'm not going there.
11 tackles.
20 tackles in open space.
Wait a minute. 11 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 hits on the quarterback.
Yeah, no, he played good, man.
Dude,
right.
6 solos.
Yeah, I got his stats here. Dude played good, man. Dude played good.
He still has issues. Okay? He still does.
I think they're finding the role for him, though. I think that's what you saw yesterday. Like, maybe they're realizing, all right, this guy's not a great linebacker in space, but he can get downhill, right? And that's what you're seeing. And they kind of did that at Georgia with the way how good that Georgia D-line was when he was there. He was able to get downhill a lot, and that's why he was an effective linebacker. Now they're starting to do that in Philly, and I think that's a credit to Vic Fangio, who seems to be switching things up with this defense. Now here's talk about a trend. Defenses look good. It's going to be our best quarterback in a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Last time we had a competent quarterback, Baker Mayfield sliced and diced us, made us look like Swiss cheese. So you got Joe Burrow this week. I know they're not the greatest team in the world. You should be able to create pressure on their offensive line, but Joe Burrow can throw the ball with the best of them. So it's going to be interesting to see this week how Vic Fangio tries to slow him down. But overall, you're right, man. Nakobe Dean, great day yesterday. And it's clear you found something there, And maybe this is why you let Devin White go, because this is ultimately Devin White's not the good traditional linebacker either. He's good downhill too. He's fast. He's athletic. This is the role you would wanted to see with Devin. Well, Nakobe Dean looked pretty damn good.
They're trying to create a role for him.
Yeah, they are, and I like it. I mean, I think you're going to struggle if you only have 2 linebackers on the field, and it's one of them Zach Bond and one of them is Nakobe Dean. Who, if you get him in space, I mean, if you're an offensive coordinator going up against the Eagles, it's very obvious what you want to do. Get Nakobe Dean in space. He's a traffic cone in space.
How about Nick Sirianni saying that Vic Fangio is a stud?
Well, Vic is looking pretty good right now.
He is, man. Hey, He goes like this. This guy doesn't get much sleep. Tell you what he does. He sits there at the complex the entire time. This guy's breaking things down to try to figure out the Rubik's Cube. And he did. I mean, dude, look, I know the Giants are awful, and they are still. And I've never heard of an awful NFL team being held to 119 total yards. I've never heard of a team like I can't remember the last time I've seen anything like that. So, I mean, Xander, let me ask you this. You think this team can beat the Detroit Lions?
No, not yet. I haven't seen enough of that. Dude, have you seen Jared Goff's numbers recently? I mean, I'm literally ready to redo my quarterback rankings because I went and looked at some tape on Jared Goff, who I admittedly have not followed too much this year. Since he lost to the Tampa Bay, or was it the Bucks? Yeah, the Bucks, and where he threw the ball 55 times and had multiple turnovers. That dude has been on a tear. He was like 22 of 25 yesterday. He was 18 of 18 the 1 week. He was like 23 for 25 2 weeks ago. The dude is shredding teams. And by the way, what are they doing?
What do you want to hear? They're running the ball too.
They're imposing their will, and they're opening things up for Jared Goff, and they're making him look like a superstar.
Do you want to hear something crazy? A stat? In the last 2 weeks for Jared Goff, he has more touchdown throws than he does incompletions.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, it was last week, the week he was 18 of 18?
Yeah, the week before, yeah.
Let me look at his game log.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude is just – yeah, so that week 2 was really his worst game, and you can clearly see the trend. Their offense, that's the only game they lost. Now, I started explaining this to John this morning, who's pushing back like I'm some sort of dumbass when I'm talking about running the football. The Lions lost one game. The game that they lost, they scored 16 points, and Jared Goff was 34 of 55. The other games they won, Jared Goff was 18 of 28, 18 of 23 in week 3, 18 for 18 in week 4, week 5 bye week, 18 of 25 last week versus the Cowboys, and they put up 47 points, and 22 for 25 this week versus the Vikings. So they're 5-1, and the 5 games they won, he's had under 28 attempts every time, and really under 25, except for the one game where he was 18 of 28. The one game they lost, he threw the ball 55 times and had two interceptions.
He's playing MVP football right now.
Is that a coincidence, though?
No.
I mean, it's obvious what helps quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah, play action.
Run the ball, set it up.
Yep.
And I hope the Eagles will do it. They clearly did it this week, But do I think we can beat Detroit yet? No. And Fly's telling me I'm scared of Detroit. Fly, I'm not scared of Detroit.
No, they're not ready yet.
Our football team is not ready to beat that team. That team plays like that team has taken on the head coach, the personality of their head coach. They are a bully ball type of team. They are a power football team, and they have a great play action quarterback that plays into it perfectly. Absolutely. We are not that. We are cutesy. Yesterday we were bully, and you saw how dope it was. Hopefully we can get more.
Last one before the super chats here. We start reading them. By the way, all super chats will go to the will be read here in a second. Please hit the like button. It's Kansas City in the field right now, and I'll tell you why. Dude, they're dominating, and they're not even playing good ball.
I know.
They're dominating teams.
Doesn't look.
Dude, Patrick Mahomes can throw 5 picks in a game and still win it.
I know. It's crazy, man. Is that coaching?
It's coaching and ability and coordinator on defense and offense. By the way,
KC's got a good roster, but they don't have
Kansas City's a defensive team now.
Yeah, they are.
By far a defensive team. Hey, you could make the argument. Who's the better coordinator on that team? I don't know, man. It might be that guy on the other side of the ball, man.
Yeah,
I don't know how Steve Spagnuolo doesn't get an opportunity again to be a head coach, because even Les Snead and Kevin Demoff with the Rams say we didn't do enough to help him. Because I'll tell you what, dude, that guy won a Super Bowl and beat Brady and Belichick in the Super Bowl, okay, with the David Tyree hand deal. And then he turns around. Now he has 3 Super Bowls. He might have another one. That guy might have 5 Super Bowls at the end of this year.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's let it develop. I've been even.
Are you going to bet against him?
I'm not going to bet against him, but here's what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to gift him a couple extra Super Bowls until he goes out and gets them. All right. Tom Brady won, what did he win? 7? And everyone's like, Mahomes is great. All right. He's not even halfway there yet.
Went to 10. Okay, went to
Went to
10.
10. Yeah. So I think Mahomes will get to 10. Maybe. Well, that's a lot. Holy
Well,
shit.
he's been to 4. No, let me see.
He's been to
He's
5, right?
he's
No,
been to
he only lost
no,
1.
he's got 3 Super Bowl championships and he's lost 1, so he's been to 4.
He's been to 4, right? He lost the one to Brady.
Yep.
Yeah, wow. It's pretty amazing. But like I said, I got before I start putting him in
And
Brady
he's
territory.
27.
Before I put him in Brady territory, let's let him go out there and keep winning some games. You know how the NFL can change
Hey,
on a whim.
he's only 27 though, just to keep that in perspective too. I
No,
mean,
you're
he's
right.
got quite a couple more years. Let's get to the super chat, Xander.
Yeah, let's do it.
Gary
Appreciate
Cobb will
everybody.
be with us at the bottom of the hour too. Please hit the like button, guys. By the way, Xander, where are we on that like list right now? I know guys really came in the first hour. We were really
like list, which nobody knows what that means.
yeah,
I don't know where
like button. Thank you.
283 we're up to. What is
Fantastic.
a like list? You guys tell me in the chat. I'll look for it.
Holy
Brian
shit,
checks
he
in.
takes a shot at me for my Hurricanes and now the like list.
Well,
Jesus.
dude, you better realize your Hurricanes can't just keep squeaking by with some end
Number
game
1
heroics.
offense in college football in the country.
Yeah, and what's their defense rank? Because they'd be giving up 45 points a game for crying out loud. That's not a recipe to win late in the season, and you know it, Big Sills. They got some problems to clean up, and they keep having these crazy phantom comeback wins, making mistake after mistake. They're like the Eagles of last year. They're going to get caught when the good teams catch up to it.
The hatred, I feel it, and I love it, and embrace it. I embrace the hate.
Brian is not happy with me for feeling okay about a win. He says
114 yards, buns squirting all over himself on third down. These guns in the chat preaching the book of Hurts makes me ill, sick, tragic quarterback play praised. Give me a break. Here's my girl, Kimbo. Sills, I come here for you.
Oh, we read that. I don't need to
No,
read
wait.
again.
Let me read it one more time. I want
to read it.
Sills, I come here for you, honey. Your experience, football, your wonderful IQ, lover, your integrity. I love you so much. That's all right. Right strategy for each individual game. A true pro is the only reason I come for you, honey.
Where's Carmine? Carmine, bail me out of this, will you, Carmine? Man in Black checking in. Good to see Man in Black back after he got taken to the woodshed on that one day. Man in Black, appreciate it, brother. He says, Sills, A.J. Brown was rolling around after a tush push, having a blast. He was not bitching, so let's not blow up the irrelevant. Man in Black.
That's not what that was an oppressor.
He was right. Did you see the video of him rolling around after the tush push?
Yeah.
I mean, all right. What he said after the game, there was some truth to it. It was a stupid comment, Man in Black. Be real with yourself.
Defend your guy. It's all good. I get it. You know, you have a love affair with the guy. You think he's awesome like Xander. Xander thinks he's awesome too, but he says stupid shit like Slay does. Come on, man. Know where you are. You wear a C. Act like it.
No doubt. Uh-oh. Here comes Brian. Right at the head again.
No Xander.
No Xander is falling for the banana in the tailpipe again. Phony Hurts has duped you. You can't keep letting that QB hornswoggle you at every turn. Oh, my God. A reference to the legendary Hornswoggle. You got to be kidding me, Brian.
Oh, my God. Let's go.
Sills, what were your takeaways from Jalen yesterday?
I thought he played a great game.
Oh, good.
No, get this. Well, if I'm going to say Josh Allen played a great game last year when he only threw the ball 14 times and they beat the Cowboys by 31, I have to be consistent here with Jalen doing it. When you run the ball for 270 yards, I mean, dude, the objective. Hey, Brian, the objective is the win, isn't it?
I can't believe we got a Hornswoggle reference on the show today. Wait, can we bring up a picture of Hornswoggle?
Hornswoggle?
He was the little wrestler dude, right?
Isn't Hornswoggle like something that Wild E. Coyote used to bring up? And
dude, he's the little wrestler dude, man. Look at this guy. Oh, my gosh.
Hornswoggle?
You have got to be kidding me. This is who we just got a reference on a Monday after they win. The Birds win 28-3, and we're talking about Hornswoggle.
That's Hurts.
There you go. That's Hornswoggle, right?
Hey, wait a minute. Hey, Brian, are you trying to say that that's Jalen right there?
I don't know what Brian's trying to say, but we got Hornswoggle.
What are you trying to say here?
Unbelievable.
He's an Irish
Jan checks
brother?
in. By the
Wait
way,
a minute. He's an Irish brother? Is that what you're saying, Brian?
I don't know what
Hornswoggle?
Brian was going for there. I really don't. And you can see he letting that QB hornswoggle you at every turn. Maybe he wasn't even referencing the legendary wrestler. Maybe not. Big shout out, by the way, to Jan, who became a member today. Big shout out, Jan Regal. Appreciate your support and your $5 super chat. He says, Jalen struggles getting to his second and third read if his first read isn't there. It's obviously an issue with him. Great athlete, average quarterback. Agreed. Big Sills, your take.
Well, first, before I go there, Sills is Eugene. Your name, M. Reyes, is Famunda Cheese. That's your name, okay, M. Reyes? Famunda Cheese.
Oh,
okay.
no.
Here's the take here. Jalen struggles getting to his second and third reads. You know this already, though. You know this. This is what
That's why I love the run game.
That's why your boy Xander wants to hide his deficiencies by running the ball.
I want to win. I want the Philadelphia Eagles to win. Okay. I don't care about any one player, any stat, any quarterback, nothing. Win football games. This is who's under contract, and this is what I believe will be the best recipe for winning. It's not about any one person. It's not about being a hater. It's not about crying about who's elite. It's about winning games for the Birds. That's what it's about.
Wait a minute. I got to get my targets. It's
a stupid comment. I agree. What are you holding me to it for? It's a stupid comment.
All right. I just want to make sure Bum Juice knows that too. Go ahead.
Big shot. That's a little.
I love Brian, man. Brian, I love you, dude. Brian, you're a good man. Go ahead, read it because they have a problem with me reading.
Yeah, you're not very good at it. If they can't stop the run, never stop running it. Well, yeah, pretty simple.
That's unfortunately, Jalen. That's something that the Eagle management and the coaching staff, once they get the directive from upstairs, and old Jeffrey comes parachuting in and says, "We got to throw the ball. I'm paying all this money for my offensive weapons." Xander thinks over here, this guy right here, the guy to my right, thinks this is the formula to win. Well, the formula also in my bank account is $51 million in salaries for my two receivers and I got $100 million in three guys. And you want me to run the ball 45 times. Okay.
Yeah, that's a Jeffrey Lurie problem. You should have thought about that before you paid a dual threat quarterback for a pass-happy offense. We got Gary Cobb, so let me roll through some super chats real quick. Sean Goodwin, finally here live. Go Birds. Appreciate it, Sean. Thanks for checking in, brother. Here we go. We got a couple more, three more. He says, now I know Barkley's career hasn't been the best, but you can see Barry Sanders in this guy. The Giants give up their Barry Sanders.
I don't
know about that far. You'd have to tell me.
Barry Sanders? No, I'm not going there, but it looks awful good. Barry Sanders? I don't think so. Yeah. Hang in there now. All right.
Big Fish Little Boat says, Jalen was under center a lot for the first quarter. Thought that was very interesting. Thoughts? Agreed. Was interesting.
Yeah. Well, you're under center when you throw the ball 14 times. Hey, five completions for 25 yards against the rest of the guys. So it's all right. I got
one more from Brian, who says, Sills, I'm not impressed by the QB play myself. Squat 600 pounds high are full of surfs. These simpletons need to do better. Wow,
Brian.
Brian is getting in more and more rare form each day that goes by. Last one from Man in Black. It's a good game when your safeties get the day off.
Very good. Yeah, they had the day off. Absolutely. All right.
Xander, I'm getting out of here. Gary Cobb coming up. Appreciate it, Big Sills. Thanks, everybody. Hit that like button. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. As he said, please hit the like button. And I'll tell you what, man. Tomorrow we're going to have Eric Allen on with us. That'll be at 3:30. Knows him very well, and a man who covers the Philadelphia Eagles. How much do you take away from the Browns and the Giant game of yesterday? The Giant offense is the worst offense possibly in the National Football League. Okay? What's your takeaway? The man from Box 29 in Philly, the man who hides his cowboy helmet and now puts his Eagle helmet only behind his screen at home, is on location right now. By the way, I found out that the limo that took him to Merrill Reese, Merrill goes, I got to take care of my boy. Our friend Gary Cobb joins us now here on the National Football Show. How you doing, G Cobb?
I'm doing great. Yeah. just playing a little golf, or you know what? I played pretty good today. I'm saying I hit the ball pretty good.
So what was it? Let me take a shot at 82.
No, we weren't playing. I don't even know what our number was. It was much lower than that.
Oh, so are you saying this best ball
best ball?
Best ball in this too. Whoever hits the shortest has to drink the shot.
But believe me, I was driving. It's the best I've driven in a long time, man. Straight. I can hit it. I always can hit it, but what direction is it going? So
was this the best that you've seen the Eagles play as a complete team on Sunday? As a complete team. Now, again, take into consideration, it's the Giants.
I would still have to say that offensively, their best game was the first one against the Packers. See, because you had Jalen, they put up some yards. He's getting the ball to AJ. He's getting the ball to Devontae, and you got Saquon doing his thing. So in this game, I mean, really passing-wise, other than that touchdown, I mean, he threw for just over 100 yards.
No, how about this, Gary? You take the 89 yards away from AJ in that game. He had 5 completions for 25 yards.
I mean, that's got to get better. That's got to get better. Now, I will say this, though. Before the game, in our pregame show and everything, I was saying, look, they need to run the ball. Run the ball. Saquon Barkley. I mean, the thing is about Saquon is if you give him the ball 6 or 7 times, he's going to break one. I mean, he's shown that. He's done that over and over. And I think they've got to become a kind of team that says, okay, we got this line. I mean, Mailata didn't play, and Fred Johnson, he's not going to be able to hold up over there if they're throwing the ball every play. They got to run the ball, to give him a break so he can attack the guy that's is flying upfield and everything. So I think that they got to run their offense around Saquon right now. Now, as the season goes, I think they'll get better. But right now, Jalen is just, I don't think he's feeling it back there. Come on. He's not seeing the field real well. So you work with what you got going on. And I think if they enforce and come out and run the ball on people, they're going to make it simple. And then I think Jalen is going to get better and better as the season goes along if they establish that running game. And they've shown they can run the ball on anybody. And then, like I said, this doggone Saquon, and I've seen him, man. I'm walking up, I'm going like, man, look at this dude, man.
Have you been surprised, though? Gary, have you been surprised on how good he is? Because we all knew he was the number 2 pick. This is an indictment on the Giants not putting a team around him, because I made this comment, Gary. Right. If he played his entire career in Philly, he'd be in Canton.
Yeah. That's right. He would almost have already qualified almost.
Yep.
But all I got to do is I'm out at practice and I see him. First of all, I see the size of the guy. And then just from being and seeing the games, I see look, this is a big back. Only he's got little guy speed. He's got home run speed. You see how every time he has this burst and all of a sudden he's gone, man. He turns it in. He's got that accelerator. And so I think what they've got to do right now, that's the best part of their offense. You got AJ there. Of course, when AJ is set one-on-one, you could tell Jalen, look, anytime you see him one-on-one by himself, you got the thumbs up to go ahead and go to him, because it's very difficult to play him. Again, both of those guys are really, you don't see many guys, athletes like those two. They are like, AJ is like a linebacker. He's big dude, strong, but he can run, and it's very hard for somebody to match up with him. If a DB comes up and he wants to get inside, he can get inside.
Gary, he's like T.O.
Yeah, you're right. He's like T.O. That's right. He's really a guy that you don't see many athletes like that. And the thing is, Saquon is the same way. Saquon is a guy built like he's a fullback, 230 pounds, only he's got like 4.3 speed. So those guys, I think they need to build the offense around them. And then as the season goes along, I think you're going to get everybody else in the flow of things. But see, they came in and right away they want to, and coaches are like this. Everybody wants to show how smart they are. Even though you might have a team that's got strengths in a certain area that doesn't really highlight how smart you are, but it's the best thing for the team. And I think this team has got an offensive line that is going to open some holes if you give them a little opportunity. And Saquon, and even in the first couple games, Saquon was in the locker room going, doggone it, man. I missed it, man. I should have took that play. At the beginning of the season, he said, man, I should have took that 60 yards, because he didn't have the confidence in the guys. But now he's looking for that big play. He knows if he hits it right, he's off to the races. And right now, if they build the offense around that running game, I think the passing offense is going to get better as we go along. And hopefully, you'll see them really, blossom.
How about this, Gary? I'm going to bring this now over to the defensive side. 19.2 yards a game, they're 7th. 304.3 total yards, they're 9th. 189.2 pass defense, they're 9th. 115.2 rush defense, they're 15th. They're last in takeaways, but as you and I know, that's how the ball bounces sometimes. That's the first 6 weeks of the season. Are you more encouraged now about the defense, the way it's picked up since the Green Bay game? Or is it you can only take so much away from the Browns' incompetence at offense and also the way the Giants are on offense too? How do you look at that, and how do you decipher, and how do you dissect that?
Well, I'm not going to get too worked up. I'm gonna look at the pluses. This is who they were playing, so you can't hold them and go, wow, you guys were great, but this is who was on the schedule. Okay,
that's right.
They went out and they did what they're supposed to do against a team like the Giants. They really got after them. I got to give them a plus for that. It seems like some guys are playing with more confidence, and you are working more of the younger players in there, and they're contributing. So I definitely like what I saw. I think that they against these good teams, they're still going to have some challenges, but I like what I see. I mean, I definitely like what I see in the secondary. They got some good guys, and it seems like they got more guys back there that don't mind tackling people. And that's what you're going to have. And so they've got, when you bring DeJean in there, and then you bring in what's 21?
Quinion.
No. Is it
Isaiah?
He's got a twin brother. Came out of the safety. 21, number 21.
Oh, Cooper DeJean.
No, Cooper DeJean is 33. He's the other safety. He's number 21. But anyway,
I'm Rogers.
Both of those guys.
Sidney Brown.
Rogers is doing a good job. What's that? Brown. Sidney Brown. Now, Sidney Brown is the kind of guy they need back there, which is he likes to hit. He's got good speed, got good quickness. He's aggressive, and he likes to hit people. So you mix that in. Now, in fairness, that all the guys in your secondary don't like hitting. Okay, you got to have people back there. Somebody's going to tackle, especially your safeties. They got to be saying, we got to tackle. Now, DeJean, he doesn't mind tackling people.
No, he doesn't.
You bring in Sidney Brown, you got a couple guys back there don't mind tackling people. Then you got, of course, your other safeties. But, these guys probably bring in more speed. See, so now you can do different things and utilizing them against slot receivers. Also, you can blitz them and different things. So I think they're going to get better and better as they go along. And I really did I got to give credit for the pass rush. They did have a pass rush, and they were blitzing too, which is something that
2 weeks in a row, right, Gary? We're starting to see more. Hey, Gary, do you think he realized, Vic, that
they're going to have to check what Vic was drinking in his drink in the morning?
Dude, both those games,
they're going to have to check what he was drinking because he was bringing the fire, man. I got to give it to him.
Hey,
Gary, he doesn't normally like the blitz.
Yep, that's right. That's his mantra on who he is. Hey, man, I've been very critical, and so have you, and so has Seth Joyner. Been very critical of Jacoby. What do you make of his play? 11 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 hits on quarterback, 2 TFLs. He was pretty much all over the field. He still struggles in space, covering backs out of the backfield. Didn't have much of a challenge in that against the Giants, but still, you're starting to see some playmaking ability. And one thing he can do, right, Gary? He can rush the passer.
Yeah, I mean, he comes up and he likes hitting people. So You try to have a guy doing what he does best. He's not the best out in the open field. He does a good job when he's blitzing. When he's attacking the play against the run, he does a good job there. And I got to give him credit, because if you're making plays like that, that's the way you get off the field. When you sack somebody, a lot of times you're getting off the field, because whether it's on second down or third down, a lot of times you're putting the offense in a position where they're getting ready to punt, because they're in a situation where it's third and long. So I like the fact that they were sending him on blitzes, and the thing he was doing is he was coming explosively, and he was running over the backs or whoever else was blocking him, and he was getting to the quarterback. So I got to give him a lot of credit for the way he's playing. Now, the big thing this team has got to do is, they've just got to keep on playing aggressively like they're playing, and they got to make the plays that they've been making. And I got to give them credit. The defense has been playing well. They did a good job against the run. They made the Giants one-dimensional. And so once they did that, then you can get after an offense, because now they got to throw the ball. They got to throw the ball. So then you can really, get that pass rush after them. And they really did a good job against the Giants. And the Giants aren't a good football team. But the good thing the Eagles did is they showed everybody that they aren't a good football team. That's what you're supposed to do against a bad football team, is let everybody know, these guys are not in our league. And that's what they did. So I got to give them a lot of credit for that.
How about this, Gary? 2 last questions for you. Do you think this team could beat Detroit right now?
Probably not right now, with the way that Detroit is playing and the way they find ways to win and everything. So probably not. But I think that when as the season gets near the end, they might be ready to beat them, because they have not reached their zenith point with the offense. Come on.
Do you think, Gary, do you think that's going to come down to home field? Whoever has the home game, that it could be at the end of the year, if you're in January, if you have to play at Lincoln Financial, or if you have to go up to Detroit to play, that's what that really is going to be, the swing in that game? Because by the end of the year, like you said, the war of attrition, injuries, they've already lost Aiden Hutchinson up there too.
Yeah, you're right.
That's an issue too. So, I mean, they're now lesser of a man of a star player. So, I mean,
true.
As you get closer in there, war of attrition is going to make that game an interesting ball game, possibly in January.
Yeah, it definitely is. But I think the big thing with the Eagles is they need to be the best team they can be. Clearly, offensively, with their passing game, it's not where they're capable. Come on. A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are both Pro Bowl level wide receivers. They got an outstanding offensive line, and Jalen is capable of playing great football. They got to put it all together. They got to do it. And don't mention Dallas Goedert. They've got all these weapons, and you've got Saquon Barkley as a receiver. So you got all these weapons. The thing they got to do is play at the level they're capable of playing. They're not there yet, but what they got to do is they got to get there at the end of the season. And who knows? This might be the best way to do it, which is they're not there now, and they go to the season like this. They continue getting better and better. And then at the right time, because last year we know, they started off better than they were, and they were going like this. So we would rather them going up. We'd rather have that. And the big thing is going to be Jalen, that he's seeing the field better. He's playing the level that he's capable of playing. That's going to be the big thing. And I think he knows that. And I think the rest of the team, they know that too, that they're capable of playing better.
I heard that from a friend of mine out in Los Angeles, that you've put your name in to become the new head coach of the USC Trojans, and that you're about ready to give your resume, because, hey, man, USC doesn't lose to Maryland, dude. Hey, man, in my entire lifetime, Gary, USC doesn't lose to Maryland, dude.
Hey, I told my son, I said, look, I don't know what to say. I mean, I'm just totally embarrassed. I mean, and all the guys, we got guys online crying the blues. I'm going, look, man, there's no way. I said, like, when they get ready to play Rutgers. They get ready to play Rutgers. And I don't want to see the game. They're getting ready to play Rutgers.
Dude.
And you know what my son said? He texted me back. Rutgers probably got a good chance to beat them.
Hey, Well, I said this, Gary. Hey, Gary, Rutgers has got a better offense than the Giants do, so you might be in trouble when you play those dudes, man. I mean,
Woo!
holy cow, man!
I tell you, it's been a
McKay.
long year. You know, the thing about USC is, you add a couple, maybe 15 points, they're 7-0.
I know,
but instead of that, 3-4, and they're in the basement. You know.
And they're
they
losing to
won't even go to a bowl
Wisconsin.
game.
Wait, they're losing to Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Maryland. Hey, when I heard that trifecta, I went, "That ain't USC." I know.
Hey,
USC.
They're going to start losing the colleges that don't even have a football team.
Yeah, Little Sisters of the Poor in Eagle Creek University. Hey, man, Gary, I love you, man. Thank you so much. Glad that you hit them straight today and long. Appreciate it, my friend.
All right, have a good one.
You got it. The great Gary Cobb from Fox 29. Don't forget, tomorrow we will have with us Eric Allen as well. Please hit the like button. I have to correct that. Holy shit, how about those subtle little jabs? You see, let me hook you up with something here on Xander. See, Xander is not in the same place he was a year ago. And you know why? His college has got a new captain. And you know who that captain is? It's Captain Ahab. Yeah, the guy that got eaten by the whale. And he's running the Alabama program right now. You lose to Tennessee and you get whooped by Vandy. So he takes a shuttle shot. Well, you know, what do you think? I'm a delusional Miami fan who hasn't been relevant in 25 years. They get a nosebleed? What the hell happened there? What happened? Did I get a nosebleed? Holy shit, what is that? Well, you think I'm a Miami guy? Haven't been relevant in 25 years? Hey, Louisville had a top offense. 45 points. Don't worry about it, son. Miami's gonna be playing in the 12-team tournament at the end of the year. And who would have thunk this? Alabama will not be invited to the first and ever 12-team college football playoff. That is insane to think that the first year Saban is not there. The first year he's not there, and they're going to have a 12-team college football playoff. And Alabama's not going to be in it? Dude, Alabama and Michigan are both not going to be in this thing. That's crazy. That's crazy to think that. All right. Please hit the like, not list, button. Xander, where are we right now in our likes? Guys, you've been really great. Love to see if we can get to possibly 400 by the end of the program. Let's see where we're at right now. You guys have been great. By the way, all super chats, you guys have been insane today. We so appreciate all of them. 326. Guys, fantastic. Let's see if we can get to 400 by the top of the hour. And let's see what we could do in the final hour of the program. Please hit the like button. Keep it here. National Football Show.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
He's blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
Score and save at Southeastern PA and Delaware with Colony Pools this football season, and let the experts close your pool with a custom Merlin safety cover in green for the birds. And if you join our Winter Watch team, we'll give you another 20% off, and Colony Pools will handle it all. Keep your tiles on your pool, not in your pool. Fly with Colony right now, birds fans. Visit flywithcolony.com.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid.
as long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at DryTech. At DryTech we offer 3 major services, the first one being basement waterproofing. The second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs. And then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give DryTech a call or check us out online.
Heading down the shore, have a ball once more.
Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods.
Wild, wild, wildwood.
Plan your stay in the Wildwoods today.
EAGLES. Eagles.
We will look at week 7 of the National Football League, and also we will reset yesterday's game. Take your comments. Please hit the like button. Trying to get to 400 by the top of the hour. I'd love to get to 500 likes by the end of the program. All super chats go to the top. Let me ask you guys a question. Boy, I can't think of a better fan base in my life than to ask our fan base / the Philly fan base and all of you. I know that there's folks from all over the country that want their respected team covered as well, and we'll do that. You guys ask me anytime. Now, as long as we're not in the middle of breaking something down, we'll respond to your football team, and you know that. James Jones always, we end up doing that. Here, look at this. Look at M. Reyes. M. Reyes is tooting his horn because he beat the shitty Giants. Now trying to say that the Commanders aren't very good. What a fucking dumb take. This guy's crowing because he beat the horrible Giants. Like you did something special. Who says you're good? Really, man? Who says you're good? The only people that think you're good are you. I mean, dude, you haven't proven anything yet. So before you start shitting on the Commanders, why don't you beat a team that's decent? Atlanta might not make the playoffs. New Orleans isn't. You were crowing over that win? New Orleans is going to fire their coach. The only team that you've beaten this year that's decent and good is Green Bay. That's it. In 6 games, you have 1 decent win. And the Bucs crushed you. Saints are not making the playoffs. They're 2-5. Ray. The Saints are 2-5. Green Bay's good. I said it. Look at M. Reyes is saying, like, this guy's beating some plethora of good. This guy ran through 8 quarters of the shittiest offenses in the NFC and AFC. The Browns and the Giants. And he's tooting his horn. Commanders suck. M. Reyes goes, we broke the Saints. We put the blueprint on the Saints. Really. Well, then the 49ers and the Cowboys broke your taint last year. and showed you how to beat Hurts. How you doing? How you doing? Hit the like button. All right. I couldn't ask a better fan base this question. How many people had a problem? How many people had a, hang on, I got to take a very bad take coming up here. Did you count your steps walking back last week? Did you count your steps walking back last week? Every week is different, dickhead, in the NFL. I'm not walking dick back. I still think your football team is a 9-win team. That's it. I didn't walk shit back, Jackson. Your guy's not good enough to win a Super Bowl. But he almost did. So did Rex Grossman. How you doing? Okay. How you doing? All right. Let me take this down because this guy's a dickhead and I can't stand it sometimes. Even though I love him, we have a love-hate relationship, kind of like me and my wife. M. Reyes and me and my wife are kind of in the same room. We got a love-hate relationship, okay? Once again, folks, the NFL is a flip-flop league. How many times do you hear John McMullen or you hear Merrill Reese or you hear anybody go, every week's a different NFL? But only dickhead M. Reyes doesn't see that. Do we not agree? Every week's a different NFL. This guy's a dummy. This guy thinks if you have a take in pro football, that's a take that lasts all year. What a stupid ass. Just total dummy. All right. Let me get to this thing here because this is kind of important to me here. Philadelphia, help me out. Did you have a problem booing Santa Claus or throwing batteries at Michael Irvin? That's because the NFL's not consistent. Did you have a problem with it? Samuel? No. By the way, for the record, nor did I. Akbar? No. Nor did I. No. No. I didn't have a problem with it. Okay? So here, Brown fans were cheering when Deshaun Watson got injured and ruptured his Achilles. And now people are taking shit on Brown fans. Hey, you paid a ticket. Like Eazy-E said, you paid a ticket, you get to do what you want when you're inside that stadium. And if security doesn't like it, they escort you out. If you want to boo a guy getting hurt, that's your prerogative. You paid the tickets. The guy sucks. He's got $230 million in the bank. Don't cry for him. I heard Emmanuel Acho and some of these other guys, bleeding hearts, crying for the guy, saying that fans took it too far. No shit. That's why it's called fanatic. Fans and fanatic. I don't have a problem with it. It comes with the territory. When you make $10, $15 million, you got to take the good with the bad. Is every fan cool? No. Is every fan going to do the right thing? No. Are there going to be a portion of your fan base that's going to cheer that? Yes. Is there going to be a portion of people who don't care? Yes. At the end of the day, you collect your paycheck on Tuesday and go home. A guy's cheering and a fan base is cheering. Is that an indictment on the Browns? No. The Browns hate the quarterback. The owner, this is his fault. They're letting the owner know. The one thing you tried to tell us about Deshaun Watson, you made us here. Can I tell you why? Can I tell you why I don't have a problem with the fans in Cleveland booing him after he got hurt? You ready? because this is more of an indictment on ownership of Jimmy Haslam. And here's why. You made that Cleveland Brown fan base suck up those 25 sexual assault charges against Deshaun Watson. You signed that guy, and you put that guy in there as the face of my franchise, and you made me have to eat that. Okay, fine. So character doesn't matter for Jimmy Haslam. I'm supposed to have fucking character now when you didn't hire a guy with character and that guy gets hurt, and I hate that fucking guy because the one thing you promised me is that you're going to bring football and good football out of the quarterback to Cleveland, and that hasn't happened. Well, you get what you deserve. You get what you deserve. You wanted me to overlook character when you signed him. You wanted me to overlook it. And then when the kid doesn't play and I cheer because the kid sucks, you want me to show character? Fuck you. I'm paying $350 for those tickets for me and my family to come to. I'm not getting any deal. You and your character, you weren't thinking about character. Why should I show character? Why should I? Get this. M. Reyes misses the whole fucking point as usual. Odd situation, but I don't think shitting on him while he's there withering on the field is kind of shitty. You made me not care about character when you signed him. And now you want me to show character because this guy has sucked out loud for a year and a half, and you want me to act, what, responsible? You didn't hire a guy that showed responsibility. Why should that be on the fans? I think the fans are entitled to do what they want to that guy. I think that guy has an absolute right to do whatever they want to do to him. I still root for Watson as a human being. Who the fuck are you? You don't know him from a can of paint. You root for a guy that you know, don't know from a can of paint, will never know, will never be in the building with, and you root for him because why? As a human? Dude, you're a football fan. You're not a marriage counselor or a guidance counselor. Don't act like one. Holy cow. You guys are soft. Dude, these people are like cartoon characters. You'll never meet many of these men in your entire life. Ever meet these people. Why should I don't give a shit about Deshaun Watson from the next guy. I care if I'm a Browns fan that the guy wins games. I can't help it that he's a scumbag as a human. Your owner hired him. Gave him $230 million guaranteed. How is that on me? Forget the sexual assault. I'd boo his ass for sucking ass as quarterback. That's Xander. That's right. He's laying there, man, and he hurt his Achilles. Good. Get him off the field. Maybe the next guy will win. Hey, dude, when the NFL has a player that's not good, they fire him. Whether he still has 2 or 3 years left on his contract. Why should you care? Why should you care? I mean, really. The Browns have the worst organization. Browns should try for tired of mediocre play. Dude, it's such a great franchise and such a great fan base. That's a great fan base. What do you think? Hey, let me ask you this. Hey, Philly. And this could have happened, right, Xander? Let me show you some. Disrespect? Fuck that. I don't care about disrespecting Deshaun Watson. He's not my brother. He plays football, and you don't know him either. You give respect to others who earn respect through their play and their actions as men. He gets none of it. Dude, did you think this was going to end well if he didn't play well? He had one shot to erase all that shit in Houston, and he failed at it. Dude, is this too harsh for some of you snowflakes? Because if it is, I'll make it very simple for you here. Hey, Xander, everyone, if Deshaun Watson had really been signed and he had signed to play in Philly and he blew his Achilles out at Lincoln Financial and he had played that poorly, would you have booed him after he ripped his Achilles? My inclination is to say yes. Would you have? Would you have booed him? Yale says maybe. Yes. Austin goes no. Okay. Hey, how did you treat Carson Wentz at the end? I'm awake, are you? Just curious. How'd you treat Carson Wentz? How'd you treat Carson Wentz? Helped you win a Super Bowl. But when his play fell off. Jack says like a bum. Kyle says this. Same way, Sills. You were glad when he was yanked from the starting job. How many of you were happy when he got a concussion? You can be honest. How many were happy? Dan Sileo, I got treated less than dirt in here for being disrespectful. I did nothing rude and I'm being bullied. This might not be the room for you then, dude. I told you, this show's not for everyone. Got to stand up for yourself. I'm not, I mean, if you want to come in here and start arguments over things that we're not talking about and you want to start going in back and forth with people, don't put yourself in, well, dude, I'm not going to fight your battle for you. Carson Wentz liked hunting more than football. So that gives you a right to shit on him? Okay. Supported Carson until he was traded. It wasn't just him. Feel for him, actually. Tore his knee. Backup days. Backup takes the glory. He got a statue, not you. Never gave Carson weapons like Jalen, which is a fact. I turned on him in the end. Well, yeah, what's the difference? Is it harsher in Cleveland what they did because he got hurt? Probably. But that's a tough fan base, Cleveland. Cleveland, Philly, Boston. That's not for the faint of heart. Okay? I mean, like I said, that's not for the faint of heart. I heard those guys crying and moaning about it, and I'm like, hey, welcome to the world of pro sports. Is it fair? Yeah. You know why? You get paid for it. Fans have a right to do within reason whatever they want to do. If they want to cheer a guy getting injured, that's up to them. You know, if they want to feel bad for him, that's also up to them. That player's getting paid $10, $15, $20, $30 million. They're okay. It comes with it. Yeah, but Sills, the Brown fans were cheering a guy hurt. Okay. Have you ever been to a Southeastern Conference game? Do you know what that's like going to those SEC games down there? Auburn, hey, you see what Saban did at game day? He said that Tennessee is more of a rival than Auburn is. Do you know how many people like Tracy Rocker text me and he goes, over the weekend, and you know them Auburn guys were saying, like Takeo Spikes, did he really say that? I go, yes, he did. I was like, did he really say that? And I'm like, yes, he did. Well, he regretted saying the whole thing about Vanderbilt. Now, I guarantee you, man. Hey, I will be watching Auburn, Alabama this year. I will be watching that. I will be watching that game. Make no mistake about it. Holy cow. Here's Charlie. Ever been in the 600 or 700 level at the vet when losing and freezing, or in the end zone seats? It was crazy. Loved it. Yeah. It wasn't a rivalry. It wasn't some critical game. They just cheered their own franchise quarterback getting hurt. It's just not what you do as a fan. So you have a code as a fan, M. Reyes? M. Reyes has a code. He's got the fan code. You're so dopey, dude. It's sinful sometimes. This guy's got a fan code. What's the fan code? Hey, what's the fan code? What's the fan code? Hell, they booed Dak Prescott when he won the Walter Camp Award. Okay. Okay, right? Let's see. I like to see Sileo criticize Shanahan. His play calling is starting to become predictable, and Reed knows how to scheme defenses. Shanahan is no longer the offensive genius. Well, you're not an offensive genius when you don't have Trent Williams, Deebo Samuel, Ayuk, and Christian McCaffrey in your backfield. That might have an issue. We said it the whole time. Purdy's one of those quarterbacks like Hurts, has to have everything around him. Again, just shows you this. The Eagles were so good on Sunday against the Giants, they wouldn't put the ball in the hands of the guy that could turn the ball over and lose it. They put the ball in the hands of the guy who was going to win it. You know who that is? Saquon Barkley. Hurts didn't give him a chance to lose. He only threw 14 times. And by the way, if it's not to AJ, he had 5 completions for 25 yards. Now, that is prolific. That is prolific. That's prolific. Woo! 5 completions for 25 yards. $50 million quarterback. How you doing? Okay. This is supposed to be a gladiator sport. The NFL has done nothing in its power to make this a more friendly. Booing is all we got left. Hey, okay, I got what the P is. Okay, I got it. Chiefs are down starters too. Yeah, they got Mahomes. I know Devil fans cheer when Scott Stevens knocked Lindros out. I was there. And it's true. Hey, Yale, I told you, I had that as a screensaver of Eric Lindros getting knocked out from my favorite player at the time, Scott Stevens. I had that as my screensaver. Lindros laying on the logo in the middle of the arena. I won't lie to you. I had it. I had that as a screensaver. I had Scott Stevens on the program, and I asked him numerous times, what'd you tell him? He goes, I kept skating by him, kept saying, get your head up. You better keep your head up. He told him 3 times. And then he knocked him on his ass. Okay? It was the beginning of the end. Never celebrate injury. That's classless. It's classless, Tony says. It's in the book of code of the fan. Under headline number AB7, according to Tony Soft-Ass Snowflake Allen. It's in the bylaw. Haven't you read the bylaw, Sileo? It's under the bylaw, classless is a fan. Don't you know anything? No, I haven't read the bylaws for fans in the fan handbook, in the handbook of fans. Hey, Here it is right here. Here's Tony. Here it is. AB 738 right here. It's classless to cheer an opposing or my own or an opposing team. That's against the rules. What's the penalty? You don't get an extra corny dog or you don't get an extra brat in the fourth quarter and you're shut off on beer drinking in the fourth quarter at Lincoln Financial. It says it right here. It's in the handbook. It's in the fandom handbook. Haven't you seen the fandom handbook? Here's another one. If you say discouraging things about my quarterback more than 10 times, M. Reyes wrote this caption here, and it's bylaw 640. If Sileo, this is the Sileo rule. If you talk too much shit on my quarterback, I'm going to come after you all the time. These handbooks are given out near the urinals at every football stadium on how to act. No. It's the handbook of acting right at games. Sure, okay. Once you play dirty, all bets are off. Clipping people in the midair, the only defensive players get even. Hammurabi's code, I'm good with it. We should have more people play defense like that. And that's why I buy 3 tall boys before the 4th. Smart like a fox, Sills. Yeah. Nah. That's his gun. That's his gun. Sills, how dare you breach the rules? Touche, Tony. Nicely done. Nicely done, Tony. Daniel, thank you, brother. Eagles win. Dogs win. Bama loses. Great weekend. Cam Moore is special, Tills. Woo! Holy cow, that's got to hurt. Come on, Big Z. Yeah. Oh, Tony came. Hey, Tony, nice job. Hey, where's this other guy in here that's been crying about shit? There you go. Look at Tony fighting back. It's my boy. Yo, Daniel, F you. There you go, Tony. Look at Tony fighting back. Nice. I was in the bathroom, no rule books in sight. Yeah, because you use them as, you know what? You know, by the time you get to the third quarter, TP's not in anywhere to see. You're using anything that's capable of getting me through the fourth quarter and getting me home on time. That's where I'm at with you. The fan, hey, Mr. International, the fan book, you know what it's used for in the fourth. How you doing? Right? You strongly add a TP paper. You know what I'm talking about here. You improvise. You overcome. You adapt. Yes. Heartbreak Ridge. Thank you. Hit the like button, my freaks. Where are we, Xander, on the like button right now? Look at that. I had to correct myself here, and I had to self-edit myself because I was getting hammered for my shitty Canes of 25 years and because I said like list. 354. We're 46 away from 400. I'd love to start Monday off with that, guys. So hope we can get to that. Please hit the like button. We're going to reset. We'll also look at week 7 of the National Football League. Oh, wait a minute. Let me take a look at something here before I do this. Let me go here. Hold on here. Before I take a timeout, let me take a look here. I got to take a look at my boy. 5-2 now. Let's take a look. Woo! Holy cow. Josh Allen, 21 of 33, 323 yards, no interceptions. So let me see what that brings him to for the year. What are his so wait a minute. Josh Allen has 1,500 yards passing, 12 touchdowns, and no picks. Is that right? Is that right? Wow. What a champion. Hey, man. Hey, it's not talking shit. It's true. Chad, awesome. Thank you very much on the super chat, man. Really cool. Josh Allen, 12 touch. Hey, I thought you guys said that he was going to struggle without Stephon Diggs. Xander, here's the quarterback. They take a top receiver away. They add Amari Cooper, like Amari Cooper was some sort of first-team all-pro guy, whatever. He's good. Okay, is he better than Devontae? I don't think so, but he's good. He's got 12 touchdowns, no picks. He's 5-2, and he's gotten better as a quarterback. Not your boy. Don't take AJ off the field. It's like Jalen having leprosy. What? I mean, it's like kryptonite. Hey, you want to get Jalen? Just get the kryptonite. Take AJ off the field. Yeah. Get this. Look at this guy here. What's he say here? Hold on here. Well, who are the Giants and the Browns? Look at Eagle Guy. They beat up on tomato cans. Well, who the fuck are the Browns and the Giants? Those aren't tomato cans? 218, we cheered when Wentz went down and Foles came in. We weren't so different. Thank you, Daniel. Eagle fans cheered when Wentz went down. I don't have a problem with that. Carson Wentz made $38 million. Part of the whole deal. It's part of it. Yes, but it makes our fan base look... No, it makes your fan base look like you don't tolerate shit. And if a guy sucks, whatever means necessary to get him out of there, that's the harsh reality. Why? The NFL does that shit. Okay? You guys cheered when Wentz got hurt. I think it's really unbecoming of a fan base to cheer people when they get hurt. I don't care. Fans have a right to do whatever they want. You paid the bill. Like I said, Eazy-E said it perfect. I don't care if you burn the records or the CDs, what have you. You bought them. You bought Deshaun Watson. You have a right to cheer him or boo him any way you want. You bought Watson. I have a right to do whatever I want with that guy. Yeah, but they're human beings. To you, maybe, but to me, they're the quarterback of the Browns. I mean, look at this guy. He's a Sills. Okay. We took a lot of shit when Michael Irvin was cheered for getting hurt. And I don't think he should have. Okay? All right. Hit the like button. We'll reset. Week 7 of the National Football League. Keep it here, National Football Show.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
He's blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
Score and save in Southeastern PA and Delaware with Colony Pools this football season, and let the experts close your pool with a custom Merlin safety cover in green for the birds. And if you join our Winter Watch team, we'll give you another 20% off, and Colony Pools will handle it all. Keep your tiles on your pool, not in your pool. Fly with Colony right now, birds fans. Visit flywithcolony.com.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in,
Decisions,
the dark.
the dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid
as long as you face the fear.
and keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at JAKIB. At JAKIB we offer three major services. The first one being basement waterproofing. The second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs. And then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give JAKIB a call or check us out online.
Heading down the shore. Have a ball once more.
Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods.
Wild, wild, wildwood.
Plan your stay in the Wildwoods today.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Please hit the like button. Big Sills here. Thank you guys so much. We're about 32 away from 400. Thank you again. I appreciate it. You guys have been absolutely spectacular here today. Thank you again. I'll make one last reference with it here. One more time here. Just to show you, right, that you guys booed Wentz when he got injured. Like I said, okay, fans have an opportunity to do whatever they want. You paid a ticket. As long as it's not crazy, it's up to you. If you want to be that guy. Now, I've never done that, nor would I ever. But there's fan bases that die and breathe with their teams. And it comes with the territory. People don't want to hear that shit. That some fans are unruly. Well, guess what? I'm not saying that I do this. I'm saying that fans do this. And you do. Eagle fans did it. Browns fans did it. Okay? That's right. It is what it is. It's nothing more. Now, again, would a guy like Yale do it? Probably not. There's rules. You're allowed to boo. That's right. Okay? You are. Guy sitting next to you, you're probably going to look at him and go, well, that's not cool. Well, guess what? Not everybody's cool. Not everybody's going to live in your shell or in your way of life. Unfortunately, people think that. That's not going to happen. Dude, again, fans are crazy. You see it all the time. No matter what it is. All right. Again, I mean, that's a very difficult fan base, the Browns. And the Browns have tolerated a lot of crap. Hey, and by the way, the owner brought in a low-character guy. I'm supposed to show character when you hired a guy that was a scumbag with women? Yeah, okay. Hey, Sil, who has Josh Allen beat this year? Whatever, guy. Josh Allen's in contention for the MVP award right now. Your guy is in contention for having one of the lowest productive games in history. Five catches, 25 yards. Oh, and AJ. And AJ. and AJ. Okay? Yeah, hey, and get this. And Josh Allen, the weakest division in football, and you beat the Browns and the Giants. Great. Okay. Yeah. Let me see this. Hold on for a second here. 263 and 114. Look at that, man. A stellar 377 yards in 2 games against the Browns and the Giants. Whoa. Holy cow. This guy's averaging like 160 yards a week. There you go. Elite. Hey, did you hear what Malik Neighbors said? Malik Neighbors was asked this question on why he didn't get any catches in the second half of that game. He said this: I was open. I was open. Oh, and by the way, Cosmo, I see you with the Niners here. Steals the Chiefs toy with the Niners yesterday, but the Chiefs players should have been ejected with Trent Williams. Yeah, so the guy punches Trent Williams in the head, and Trent Williams gets up and knocks his ass in the head. Absolutely, that guy will be fined for that because he wasn't ejected, and Trent will faced the ejection. I don't have a problem with Trent Williams punching him in the head. He punched him. Hey, man, you got to defend yourself out there. People don't want, hey, you don't like to hear that stuff, but that's part of it too. Guy punches you in the face, you punch him back in the face. It's gladiator sport. Don't take the gladiator out of the gladiator when you don't like to see shit like that. You had every right to punch him in the head. Should have hit him harder. Okay? Should have hit him harder. Here's the one thing about Mahomes, though. You're going to love this. Patrick Mahomes is 11-3 as an underdog, as a starter for the Chiefs. He's 12-1-1 straight up versus the spread. Oh, my God. And this guy throws pick after pick now, and he's 6-0, and he's fighting for his 3rd championship. That guy's so good, he can't be bad. Patrick Mahomes is so good, his worst days are your better days. That's how good he is. I mean, his like awful day as a starting quarterback is your best moments as a quarterback. That's how great he is. Damn, he's not really. Dude, if you looked at his numbers, let me see here. If you looked at Mahomes' numbers this year, it has to be one of his worst years as a player. Holy shit, he's got more interceptions than touchdowns. Check this out. And let's look what he's on pace for. Here's what Patrick Mahomes is on. Look at this. His completion percentage is 59.3, and he's 6-0. So Patrick Mahomes is on a pace right now for a Jalen Hurts year of 39-36 with 17 touchdowns and 23 picks. And he's 67.9 completion percentage. That was 59.3 in the last game. He's got 6 touchdowns and 8 picks. Will he right the ship? Yes. He's got 225 touchdowns and 71 interceptions. And yet this guy's 6-0. That's how good that guy is. And yes, the Chiefs toyed with the Niners, a very injured Niners team. That's how good that guy is. Okay? That's how good he is. Yeah, let's not forget no interceptions and no turnovers, and he's 5-2. How you doing? Let's take a look at something here too. When you guys talk about my boy Allen, what a great football player. You want a quarterback with no talent on the team and win you games? That's your boy. He's got nobody on that team. Nobody. Not like Jalen. Jalen doesn't have a Barkley on that team. A tight end's decent. He's not great. They got a decent receiver now. Let's take a look at something here. So let's take a look at Josh Allen here for a second. He's 5-2. Was 11-6. 16-8. He was 13-3. 29-11. 11-6. And he was 13-3. This is what people keep forgetting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the last 5 years, going into this year, Josh Allen's 53-19. $53-19. How you doing? Yeah, most importantly, though, Yale, this guy's 53-19 going into next week's game. This guy's averaging 12 wins a year for the last 5 years. Sills, is he a Hall of Fame player? Well, if I think that Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Fame player, I think he is as well. He's trending that way. He's still got a lot more work to do. Okay? I know. That's so true. That's so true. Absolutely. Does it matter for Hurts? Like I said, Jalen Hurts hasn't been winning a lot of games in the last year and a half since he signed that contract. He's had 1 year, dude. Josh Allen's had 7 great years. Here. 5-2, 11-6, 13-3, 11-6, 13-3, 12-5. What the fuck, dude? This guy doesn't have bad years. 4,300 yards, 4,400 yards, 4,500 yards, 4,600 yards, 30 TD passes, 35 TD passes, 39 TD passes, 37 TD passes. Come on, guy. And then you add this, because you guys like to. 524 yards rushing and 15 TDs a year ago. 762 and 7. 763 and 6. 421 and 8. 510 and 9. 631 and 8. Those are touchdowns. Josh Allen right now has 4,000 rushing yards and 56 touchdowns in 7 years. And he throws for 4,500 yards a year. You tell me where your guy's in that room. Think about that. Josh Allen throws for an average of around 4,300 yards a year and runs the ball for about 500 yards and throws the ball for 32 touchdowns and 9 rushing touchdowns a year. Where are your guy in that room? He's not. Okay. He's not. He's not. Guy averages 4,300 passing yards, and your guys never went over 3,900. He's averaging 32 TD passes a year and 9 rushing. This guy averages 45 total touchdowns a year, 4,300 passing yards. And what are you talking about with Jalen Hurts? And he's in the last 5 years, 53 and 19. What the fuck are you talking about? I mean, ridiculous. Lucius, nobody thinks Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback than him. And by the way, Patrick Mahomes has more interceptions than touchdowns. Are you going to try to tell me Jalen's better? Yeah, well, that won't last because he doesn't throw for that. That's your guy. He throws for that number. Dude, look at what he's trying to say to you. Because he hasn't thrown for a lot of yards in the first half and he's concerned about winning, this is Allen's numbers in passing. Okay? He's trying to convince you that he's going to throw for 3,600 yards. 4306, 4283, 4407, 4544. In 2019 is when he first got the start. 3,089. 1, 2, 3, 4 years in a row, he's gone over 4,300 yards. Yeah, okay, big guy. He'll throw for 3,600 this year. Sure. No, that's your guy. Yeah, do the math. It's simple. Do the math. Your guy is a turnover machine too and doesn't win as much as Mahomes. Once again, all turnovers are not created equal here. Patrick Mahomes' worst day is Jalen Hurts' best day. He could throw 3 picks. Hurts can't. Mahomes could throw 3 picks and win. There lies the difference. He's got no running game. He's got a tight end, and that's it. And that's it. That's it. That's it. And Hurts plays against the Browns and the Giants. Okie dokie. All right. So, real quick. Dodgers and Yankees. Who do you got in this series? Man, what a star-studded World Series. Yankees are in their 41st World Series. Who do you got? Xander's got Yankees. In what, Xander? Six. I love Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani is the – hey, Yale, is this fair to say? Shohei Ohtani is the best DK out a week to week. Wow. Shohei Ohtani is the best baseball player I've seen in my lifetime. Where I was watching baseball. Bonds is the best I've ever seen. Ricky Henderson is right there. Miguel Cabrera is right there. Albert Pujols is right there. Yanks in 6. Stanton cooking. By the way, Giancarlo Stanton is a Dave Dombrowski guy. Don't forget that. That's a Dave Dombrowski guy. Baseball stinks. It hasn't stunk in the series here. I'm going to take the Yankees in 7 because I think Dave Roberts has done a great job. Dave Roberts has done a really nice job. They've wanted him fired every year he's managed. And I really love Andrew Friedman, their general manager. I worked with him with the Rays for about 6 years. And Andrew Friedman was absolutely a great, great general manager in Tampa. Dude, the reason that the Tampa Bay Rays are competitive in the American League East every year is because Andrew Friedman and Stu Sternberg and those guys, they bought it, as I told you before, from Vince Namoli. They turned the entire culture around. The only difference now that Andrew Friedman has is that he's got an endless checkbook that he can write and do whatever he wants. He's a phenomenal general manager. I love him. Okay? I mean, he's not quite Theo Epstein, but he's in there, man. Ohtani's a modern-day Babe Ruth. Dodgers in 5. Hey, Daniel, the only difference with that comment is Babe didn't do it at the same time. You know, Babe had a Babe won 90 some odd games as a pitcher with the Red Sox. And at the very end of his career in Boston, he led the American League in baseball in home runs one time, and I think he won 20 games, which is insane. I think he had 28 homers, led baseball. Then he turned around, and I think he won 20 games or 19 games. And that was the final year of Boston being in the series. And Ruth had a scoreless streak until Whitey Ford broke it in 63, where it was 21 consecutive scoreless pitching, and it was a Babe Ruth record. Babe owned that scoreless records in World Series play. Ruth was on his way to being a Hall of Famer as a pitcher. Let alone the fact Juan Soto has had an amazing series. You know, it's funny you should say that. All Eagles. I don't watch. I haven't been watching a lot of baseball as of late over the last couple of years because I think it lacks personality. But I think it's starting to come back a little bit, man. I'm pretty encouraged by baseball right now. Aaron Judge needs to step up in the series. Absolutely, man. He's been kind of, hey, Juan Soto and Stanton have stepped up big time. Athletes today are 10 levels above the game. No disrespect. What do you mean by that, Yale? You think they're better players today than there were back in the day? Yeah, there were no African Americans too prior to 47. Played a factor. You didn't travel. West Coast baseball was St. Louis, not Los Angeles. You didn't travel in airplanes. You know, you traveled on trains. So there is something to that. There's better players today. Yes. They're spread out more. The influence of the Dominican players are sensational, along with the black. Actually, do you want to hear something? The numbers of black players in baseball today are down, and the numbers with Dominican players are up significantly. Dominican baseball is spectacular. You go down to the Caribbean, that's their life. It's like soccer down there. They love it. Used to be a gigantic baseball fan, as you could tell. Yankee snatched the soul of my Cleveland Guardians, so it was nice to see the Birds beat the Giants. Yeah, okay. Planes, trains, and automobiles. That's what it was. Remember, think about it, Ryan. When you're talking about baseball back in the day, West Coast was St. Louis. There was no baseball west of St. Louis all the way until 60 or 59 when the Giants and the Dodgers moved out to Chavez Ravine in San Francisco. That's the only – so you haven't had West Coast baseball prior to 1960, really. So, I mean, to your point, Yale, probably true. Bryce Harper's the new Eric Lindros. Ooh. Is that a shot? Well, Chuck, let me put this out there to you about your boy Bryce Harper. So the Washington Nationals get rid of him and they win the series? He's a great player. Is he the greatest Philly that you've had? No, not better than Schmidt. Not better than Carlton. No. Better than Luzinski? Probably. Better than Howard? Yes. Better than Dick Allen? I don't think so. Better than Dick Allen? I don't know about that. Then again, I'm partial to that because I knew Wampum from Wampum, PA. I knew him. So I'm probably all right. Your takeaways. Let's go back and reset this. Big win. 28-3. What was the biggest takeaway for you in this game? Oh, by the way, yeah, I said Yankees in 7. Biggest takeaway. The Philadelphia Eagles proved to me what? Dick Allen is a Hall of Famer. Should be in. The defense, Sills. Ooh, Elizabeth, keeping score here for us. We are very close to 400, folks. William says not much. Kimbo says, I started to see a glimmer of this team and our quarterback getting their confidence back. Biggest takeaway. All right. Okay. They were able to win back-to-back games. I hadn't mentioned that. That was hard last year after the 49er game. Great take, Forrest. Great take. I hadn't thought about that. Right. Back-to-back wins. Defense was outstanding yesterday. Credit to Vic and his players. And again, I think Gary Cobb brings a great point up. And yeah, I brought it up too. I know the Giants suck. And Gary's right. They reminded everybody that the Giants sucked because of the way they played. That's the statement you make. That was the takeaway on that defensive side of the ball. Hey, Sills, we know the Giants stink. And guess what? We made everyone realize they stink because you showed it. Absolutely. Holding them to 119 points. Absolutely. Okay? It was the Giants. I get it, William. But they're on the schedule. They're on the schedule. You know? They're there. Here's Donnie. Guys, please hit the like button. Let me know when we get to 400. I got a good feeling we're going to get there. Dan Sileo, do you think the Eagles will perform better if they don't use long pass plays and just go underneath more? You would think. And run the ball, and that, they would win a lot more games, and the quarterback would be a lot better. Those high percentage throws down the field like that, they're hit or miss with Hurts. I completely agree with that, Donnie. But again, they like explosion plays because of the receivers that they're paying. That's right. You want to find out how good Quinyon Mitchell is? You got T. Higgins and Jamar Chase this week. We're going to find out. Okay? Xander, right? We're going to find out how good those guys are. Okay? You got Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase. We're going to find out how good they are. Okay? Both the Browns and Giants do not present that challenge. I think, hey, to me, Chase is the guy. Higgins is more like do you remember Husmanzada? Do you guys remember Husmanzada from Cincinnati? I think T. Higgins is kind of like that kind of player. A Husmanzada. Do you remember that guy? He was kind of like that player. Bengals haven't beat anyone. They were 1-4-2. That's the way to look at it, Forrest. Look down on your opponent. And that's why the Browns almost beat you. Browns suck and almost beat you. I'd hang in there. Yeah, TJ Husmanzada, he kind of reminds me of that. He's a third down guy. Chase is Ocho. Higgins is TJ. Yeah. It's a really great comparison. Do you think Fangio will keep playing man and aggressive blitz packages? I can't stand the drop coverage anymore. I think he's going to. It's been a trend 2 games in a row. Let's see if they – now, again, he's had shitty quarterbacks that do that too, and those quarterbacks couldn't get out of their own way. All right, I'm going to take a timeout because I want to get to some of the games on Week 7 of the NFL. And we got 2 games tonight on Monday Night Football. Not sure I dig the 2 games, but we got 2 ball games tonight. Where are we on the like list right now? Or hitting the like button? Sorry about that. Where are we on that here? By the way, you guys have killed it today, especially with the super chats, and I can't thank you guys enough. 397, we're 3 away. Outstanding work, my friends. Hit the like button. We'll look at week 7. We'll give you our predictions. We'll take yours. What happens tonight, both ball games? I think Aaron Rodgers is finished. Boy, he looked terrible last night. And Russell Wilson looked great. Hit the like button. Keep it here, National Football Show.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
He's blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
Score and save at Southeastern PA and Delaware with Colony Pools this football season, and let the experts close your pool with a custom Merlin safety cover in green for the birds. And if you join our Winter Watch team, we'll give you another 20% off, and Colony Pools will handle it all. Keep your tiles on your pool, not in your pool. Fly with Colony right now, birds fans. Visit flywithcolony.com.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in,
Decisions,
the dark.
the dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid
as long as you face the fear.
and keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at DryTech. At DryTech we offer 3 major services, the first one being basement waterproofing, the second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs, and then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give DryTech a call or check us out online.
Heading down the shore. Have a ball once more.
Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods.
Wild, wild, wildwood day.
Plan your stay in the Wildwoods today.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Big Sales National Football Show. Please hit the like button. Super chats were great today. What a way to start the week off. Thank you, Gabe. 403. You guys killed it today. Absolutely. And Xander and I and Big Joe, thank you guys very much, man. I'm at no kidding. You know, we go back and forth here. You guys know a lot of it's in play. A lot of it, we kid around. Even with you, M. Reyes. You guys are great. I can't do the show without you, and I wouldn't want to. So thank you guys very much. You guys are fantastic. And we so appreciate you guys supporting us as you do, all of you. Even you, Dick Train. Thank you very much, man. Guys are cool. Steve, even you, brother. Thank you very much, man. All right. Sunday's games. How about Doug saving his ass? Getting that win against the Patriots. It didn't look good early, did it? 32-16. Trevor Lawrence played a good ball game. You got to start stringing these things together. You're in the AFC are 2-5. Season's probably lost. Got to win some ball games, though. Cincinnati at 3-4. They beat Cleveland 21-14. You guys are probably going like this. Cincinnati only beat Cleveland 21-14. Well, they beat them by more than you did. And Cincinnati's not really a good football team. And they beat them. You're supposed to be a great football team. And you barely beat them. Well, this should be an interesting ball game on Sunday. Detroit over Minnesota. How about the way Detroit's trying to figure out ways late in ball games to win now? Jared Goff is playing MVP football. 31-29, they get the win. They knock off one of the undefeated teams in Minnesota. Both teams are 5-1. That NFC North division looks great. Green Bay ends up beating the Houston Texans. Houston Texans did not look good. By the way, C.J. Stroud without Nico Collins, not great in that football game. 24-22. Green Bay, since that opening loss to you guys, has really played well. They're starting to get it together. I love Matt LaFleur. They're 5-2 on the season. Houston's also 5-2. I can't believe the job that Shane Steichen's doing with musical chairs at quarterback. They're 4-3. The Colts are 4-3? Really? Wow. They beat Atlanta 34. No, excuse me. They beat Miami 16-10. Tua's coming back. I'm glad to see that in a way. He wants to play? Put his ass out there. Seattle over Atlanta. You know, Geno Smith just keeps chugging along, doesn't he? Not great, not spectacular, but he just keeps chugging along. And they end up beating Atlanta 34-14. Pretty much handed them an ass kicking there. Both teams are 4-3 on the season. We mentioned Josh Allen, 5-2. They beat Tennessee, who stinks, 34-10. Washington ended up beating Carolina, but they suffered an injury. Hey, Xander, did we hear the update on Jaden Daniels yet? Okay, I mean, I don't know what the update is on him. They're 5-2. They beat a shitty Carolina team 40-7. And I think Marcus Mariota came in and did a pretty decent job for them. But then again, I mean, if you're Washington, are you going to take anything away from the Carolina win? I don't think so. The Rams end up beating the Raiders 20-15. Rams are now 2-4. Raiders are now 2-5. The Kansas City Chiefs, they continue to win. They toyed with the Niners 28-18. Niners fall to 3-4, under 500. That's got to be one of the first times in Kyle Shanahan being under 500 in the last, 4 years? And Kansas City goes to 6-0. How about the job that Mike Tomlin did with Russell Wilson on Sunday? What a great job. Kyle says, Sales Daniels is week to week. Might want to sit him this week then. Washington's in trouble. Yeah, if he's not playing, they're in trouble. The New York Jets had a 15-something lead. And after Rodgers throws the pick, that team imploded. And Pittsburgh ended up rolling them in the second half of that game. Russell Wilson was great in the second half, not so good in the first half. 37-15. Mike Tomlin was right. And even he said it at the press conference. Hey, man, he played some good football. It's week to week for Jaden Daniels. That'll hurt them, man. Unless Detroit has an injury to Goff or Sewell, best team in football, Lions could beat the Chiefs. Beat them last year, didn't they? Got all the way to the NFC title game, and some coaching errors cost them the Niner game. They should have been in the Super Bowl a year ago. Dude, if Jared Goff wins the Super Bowl and would have gone to 2 Super Bowls and 3 conference title games and puts the years up that he's putting up, he's going to the Hall of Fame. He's going to the Hall of Fame. That's right. I never thought about that. That's right. He beat him in that shootout when he was with the Rams on that Monday night too, didn't he? Goff's never lost to Mahomes. That's insanity. He's never That's pretty incredible. Jared Goff, if he wins the Super Bowl, will go to the Hall of Fame. Okay? He will go to the Hall of Fame. Let me see here. Again, you need to put a title next to his name, obviously. Look at those quarterback ratings. 153.8, 140, 155.8. 2 touchdowns, no picks. 3 touchdowns, no picks. 2 touchdowns, no picks. And here's his career. Look at people in here actually saying he's not a Hall of Famer. I mean, are you crazy? Look at this. In what he's done in his career as a player, Jared Goff. It's insane. Look at the years that he's put up. 4,600 yards, 4,500 yards, 4,700 yards. Holy cow. I mean, look what he's done to the franchise. That's incredible. He might be the most underrated player in pro football. Yeah, look at these numbers here. And if, like I said, if he wins the Super Bowl, last year, 45-75, 30 touchdowns and 12 picks. Year before, 45-38, 29 touchdowns, 7 picks. Year before that, 42-45, 22 touchdowns, 8 picks. Year before that, 4,052, 29 touchdowns, 14 picks. Year before that, 46-38, 32 touchdowns, 16 picks. This guy's got 32,000 passing yards already in 9 years, and he's 29 years old. And he's 71-51, and he played with the shitty Rams early, and now he played with the shitty Lions, and now they're winning. Hell, the way I look at it, in the last 2 years, the Lions are 17-6 under Jared Goff. $17 and $6.
Yo, is Sills frozen? What's going on? Is Sills frozen or is it me? Yeah, I think Sills was frozen. Right before the sign off of the show, Sills freezes up. Unfortunately, I'll see if I can get him back real quick just so we can say his sign off on the show. Appreciate everybody being here on the show today. Dan didn't get to wrap it up, but appreciate all of you guys as always. Always great to talk to you guys on the show today. Always great to read all of your guys' comments as always. So I'm going to give Sills just 30 to 60 seconds here if he checks back in to give him a chance to sign off. I know he likes to do his signature sign-offs after a great show for him. By the way, big show for Big Sills today. So for the haters of Big Sills, his show is absolutely crushing it right now. I think he got well up over 400 likes today. And yeah, 405 likes. Look at that, man. So tons of people supporting the show, and we appreciate each and every one of you guys. Akbar says, I owe you guys 10 minutes. I do not think so, brother. I'd love to do it, but it is Sills' show. I don't want to take over the Big Z show. Appreciate it, Chuck. Thanks, everybody. Hit that like button. I think Sills' internet collapsed on him. So I'm going to get out of Dodge. I got some other work to do. Stay tuned on the channel, everybody. I got my segment with Dan coming up tonight, premiering on the channel. I have Dan's Open where he reacts to the game, gives his takeaways, grades, hot. There he is. Dan's checking back in, so he'll do the sign off. And then I have a couple other clips airing on the channel. Let me get Big Sills in so he can give you the sign off.
Yeah, well, hey, man. Yeah, no, our cable just went out for a second here.
Yeah,
so
I saw it happen, but
yeah. Hey, Xander, who you got tonight here, man? At the end here.
I got the Ravens tonight, and then who's that other game? Cardinals, Chargers.
Cardinals, Chargers. I'm going to take Baltimore over Tampa, and I'm going to take the Chargers over Arizona.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with you on both of those. I'm going to take Baltimore. Tough to pick against that Baltimore team right now. I like that Cardinals team. They could put up a good fight on that Chargers team. I think they're a better squad, so I'll take the Chargers in that one.
Thanks for picking it up here, Xander. Guys, thank you guys so much for what you did today. Unbelievable in the likes. The super chats were insane. I can't thank you enough, man. I know we go back and forth and have a lot of fun here each and every single day. Great stuff as always. Xander, awesome stuff. Hey, don't forget, we will catch you tomorrow 2 to 6, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Thanks, everybody.